you.
The meeting of the Standing Finance Committee will resume. We are at Head 15, Tobago House of Assembly.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. And
Good morning
to our colleagues from Tobago.
Just 1 minute, Minister. Just
Sorry.
1 minute, please. Thank you. Head 15, Tobago House of Assembly, $2,264,630,000. Just shows that we are very eager to start. I will now invite the Minister of National Security to make a brief opening statement, not exceeding 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, the Tobago House of Assembly is statutorily responsible for the delivery of public goods and services in Tobago as set out in its 5th schedule of the THA Act 40 of 1996. To effect this, the Assembly is comprised of 11 divisions, each headed by an administrator as accounting officer, to provide oversight, policy alignment, and the adherence to the principles of transparency, accountability, and the delivery to the widest cadre of residents in keeping with both national goals and the policies derived by the Assembly. Positive trends of 2.2% labour force growth rate between 2018 and 2019, and the general upward population growth rate of 1.5% over the past 20 years suggests that Tobago is a demographic growth pole, and as such, the demand for public goods and services are increasing. Against this backdrop, the Tobago House of Assembly will endeavour to discharge its responsibility in the best way possible. In fiscal 2019, a total parliamentary allocation of just over $2.2 billion was received, of which $2.033 billion was for recurrent expenditure and $230 million for the development programme. Major accomplishments include the completion of the Orange Hill to Rocky Vale section of the Claude Noel Highway at a cost of $38 million, the initiation of construction of the Mariah Health Centre, and the completion of the Roxborough Administrative Complex, the completion of 23 agricultural access roads across Tobago at a cost of $37.9 million. The Assembly stands ready to mobilize these resources to the much-needed benefit of the people of Tobago and to deliver these services in keeping with the standards set by various national policy goals, like the Millennium Development Goals. For the upcoming fiscal year 2020, the Assembly is listing a few key projects for completion. These include the coastal protection works at Roxborough, Studley Park, Milford Road, Pigeon Point, construction of 5 early childhood centres with the annual school repair program are priorities, as well as advanced preparations for the relocation of the Scarborough Secondary School and a number of other projects that are expected to improve and better the lives of our brothers and sisters in Tobago. And I'm happy to say that the Tobago House of Assembly works extremely well along with central government.
Thank you. Thank you, Minister. Honourable members, the question is that the sum of $2,264,630,000 for Head 15, Tobago House of Assembly, stand part of the schedule. Honourable members, the sum of $2,264,630,000 for Head 15, Tobago House of Assembly, is comprised of monies proposed for expenditure under the following subheads and items to be found in the draft estimates of the revenue and expenditure of statutory boards and similar bodies and of the Tobago House of Assembly and the draft estimates of the development program. We shall now proceed to consider the draft estimates of the revenue and expenditure of the statutory boards and similar bodies and the Tobago House of Assembly. Members, we are at page 11. Subhead 06, current transfers to statutory boards and similar bodies. Division 01, Assembly, Legislature. Subhead 01, Personal Expenditure, Item 001. Member for Couva North.
Ma'am, 02.
So there's nothing under 01?
No.
Okay, so then I'll call subhead 02, Goods and Services. Item 001, General Administration. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, ma'am. Line item 08, Rent, Lease, Office Accommodation and Storage. I'm seeing no allocations for 2018 and 2019, but for 2020, we have 405,000, and it's listed as a new sub-item. Can you clarify?
That is for the Office of the Minority Leader, would you believe? Rental of $30,500 per month for Mr. Duke. $30,500 a month.
I'm glad he's been afforded that respect. I'm very glad.
Well, no.
Anything else under 02, goods and services? Member for Kamuta Manzanella? Yes. Yes, Member for Governor.
Line item 64, page 12, operation of constituency offices. I'm seeing a revised estimate for 2019 at 5.1 million, and then a reduced estimate for 2020 at 4.8, with a reduction of 373,000. Why is that?
Yeah, but if you look at the original 2019, it was 4 million. And now this is 4.8, so it's actually a $800,000 increase over the original 2019.
So what the extra for 2019 revised estimate that amounted to 5.1, what would
Well,
that?
the original 4 million would have been an estimate, and the actual would have been the 5.1, and now the 2020 estimate is 4.8.
4.8, so it's
Yeah,
reduced.
it would
okay.
vary.
All right.
Things like repairs and so on would
All right.
vary, okay?
Okay. So, subhead 03, minor equipment purchases, item 001, general administration. Subhead 04, current transfers and subsidies, item 007, households. Member for Couva North.
Madam Chair, line item 40, gratuities to contract officers. It's listed as a new sub-item. How many contract officers for 1.5 million, which is the 2020 estimate?
At this time, on record, 6 persons are due gratuity. So this may actually be an over-provision.
Thank you.
Division 02, Office of the Chief Secretary, subhead 01, personal expenditure, item 001, general administration. Item 007, public administration. Item 011, planning. Subhead 02, goods and services, item 001, general administration. Yes, member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 16, contract employment. In the 2019 revised estimate, it was 14 million, and it remains the same in 2020. But can you give me how many contract officers?
224.
Sorry?
224.
Thank you, Minister. Ma'am, can I continue?
Yes, sure, please.
Yeah. Line item 34, University Graduate Recruitment Program. I'm seeing no estimates for 2018, 2019, and it's introduced as a new sub-item for 800,000. Can you tell me how many of these university graduates you intend to employ?
Apparently this was done before. It's a resumption, and they're catering for between 160 to 200 students at tertiary level and 25 A-level students.
Okay, line item 37 and 43, janitorial services and security services. Could you clear to explain those figures, please? Janitorial services at 1 million and security services at 2.5 million, and this is under the Office of the Chief Secretary. So is this just for his office?
All offices.
All administrative offices?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, so we go on item 002, information. Member for Vancouver North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, line item 16, contract employment at 3.5 million for 2020. How many contract officers you intend to employ?
We'll get back to you on that.
You're welcome.
But as you can see, it hasn't changed.
Yes, but knowing the amount,
We will get
how
back to
many
you
is
we will get
good
back to you on
information. Yes, thank you, Minister. Line item 62, Madam Chair. 2.5 million 2020 estimate and increase by 500,000 for promotions, publicity and printing. Can you clarify a bit?
Okay, the THA is quite proactive in its information dissemination. It has programs such as Let's Talk Tobago, Eye on Tobago, and then various media briefings, calendars, brochures, etc. That's what that is for.
Okay. And the increase by 500,000 would be the ramping up of such promotions, publicity and printing.
I would think so.
Election, yeah.
No, just good communication with the public.
Member for Vancouver South.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Voice
Are
it.
you on 007?
Project
No, I've reached yes,
icon.
yeah?
Okay. When you read it.
I can now call that. Item 007, Public Administration, Member for Vancouver South.
Thank you, Chair. Minister, under contract employment,
Tony Diaz.
I see a consistency of $4 million. What is the duration of the contracts for the contract officers?
Between 2 and 3 years.
So between 2 and 3 years. So that means how much contracts would expire in 2020 that would necessitate a $4 million allocation?
What line item are you on?
16, Mr. Minister.
So why are you asking me about contracts that would expire?
No, I want to know, well, if the contract, for example, if a contract was issued in 2019, certainly, and if the duration of the contracts are for 3 years, certainly the contracts would expire in 2021.
Yeah, I understand that, but what's the relevance of that to the allocation of $4 million?
No, I want to know how many contract officers are existing at the moment when their contracts are due to expire, and how many will be hired with this $4 million allocation.
Now you're asking the question you wanted to ask. We'll get that information for you.
All right. Well, I see that you have not lost your train of thought from yesterday's evening.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I have an idea what I
I
am
noticed that
talking
you
about.
have continued to
Member
ask.
all right,
Irrelevant
Member for Vancouver
questions.
North, do you have another question?
And I will continue to be consistent in my approach.
Consistently
Vancouver North.
irrelevant.
You will not derail me.
Gentlemen, could we
can't
now...
stop you being irrelevant.
Gentlemen, I'm now recognizing the member for Vancouver North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 43, security services, an allocation of 2 million, for 2020. Can you clarify exactly where these security services would be provided? Because we're still under the Office of the Chief Secretary under Public Admin.
Everywhere.
But you said that before under another heading.
Not for security.
So, yes, you did. It's
No, I did
on
not.
the page before.
No, I did not. This
Minister?
is public administration.
How many offices exist under public administration?
3.
Thank you. That's the answer I'm looking for.
Really? Well, ask the question properly then.
Minister,
Minister of Finance, I think
Yeah,
it's very early in the
correct.
morning, and I know it's our last
And I think
day.
it's very early for her to be saying that she
Not
asked
for her,
that
for the
question
member.
before. For the member to be saying she asked that question before.
And Minister, I think in
I think it
terms
works
of-
both ways.
Yes, and all I'm saying is, it doesn't mean that an eye for an eye is the right way.
It's not
Okay,
an eye
so
for
let's
an eye.
proceed. Can we, and are you finished with?
no. Line
Yes.
item 50, Madam Chair, housing accommodation. 2020 estimate at 1 million. how many persons benefit from this housing accommodation at 1 million?
I can't give you the exact number, but this is for immigration, customs, judiciary, Trinidad and
Okay.
Tobago police in areas such as Montgomery, Bloody Bay, Charlottesville, Tobago Plantations, Canby, Baku, Signal Hill, Lambeau, and Plymouth.
Thank you, Minister. Now we're getting somewhere.
There's no need for that.
Member for
And
point of
thanking
pair.
you for explaining.
Could you clarify for me how the revised estimates under public administration or before are identical to the 2019 estimates, please?
Pardon?
Could you clarify for me the 2019 estimates, for example, under public administration that we are dealing with, are identical to the 2019 estimates?
What's wrong with that?
Well,
So when
based
it
on-
goes up, you vex. When it go down, you vex. When it's the same, you vex.
No, we have noticed in other books that the revised estimates do not coincide with the 2019 estimates. So I was just wondering how they have the same numbers, because it's a revised estimate means that what was spent at a point in time.
It means it's an estimate. The actual numbers will be in next year's books and in the closing of the accounts in December,
Okay.
as you know. I'm shocked that if something remains the same, it's a problem.
Item 008, Tobago Emergency Management Agency. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, ma'am. Line item 16, contract employment. I'm seeing 5.5 million for the 2020 estimate. Exactly how many persons you intend to hire?
46.
Or
The plan
higher,
is to hire 46 persons. Sorry, there are 46 persons now? Yeah, 46 persons.
Okay, 46 persons. All right.
Member for Carinese.
Good morning all.
Morning.
Morning to my colleague, Minister Imbut.
That sounds ominous.
No.
Good morning.
Madam Chair, when we go to item number 16 under 008, and we check the amount of contract employment from the beginning, it comes up close to about 28 million so far, which this one is 5.5. Could the minister indicate what's the rationale for just having everyone on contract employment? Is there not a role for permanent employment with the THA? Why it seems as though, well, when you look through all, going to page 15, you will find that there is $30 million for contract employment across the THA. First of all, why employ this strategy rather than having some on permanent? I can't understand why you're only having contract employment. What's the rationale for that?
Finish?
Yeah?
Okay. For the umpteenth time, government ministries and the Tobago House of Assembly are not empowered to fill permanent positions for public officers. They are, I am now explaining this probably for the 15th time in the last 5 days. That is the responsibility of the service commissions. And it would be imprudent and impractical for agencies to just leave positions vacant while waiting on the Service Commission. Yesterday we heard the Service Commission is struggling to even fill its own positions, which it has total control over, far less other ministries and departments. It would be gross negligence of the THA to leave posts vacant for years, waiting on Service Commissions to fill them. And therefore, like all other agencies for the last 40 years, they rely on contract employment until the permanent and pensionable positions are filled by the independent service commissions. This is now the 16th time I've said that.
Right. Well, the 17th time I will ask you, when is the last time that the Tobago House of Assembly made representation to the Public Service Commission to fill their vacant positions? And we want to know how many vacant positions are there under the THA, and how many, what is the complement of positions and how many are vacant?
Earlier this year,
How many positions are there?
how many? of your, are you asking overall, or are you speaking of a
Yes,
specific?
overall.
I can't answer
You said
overall.
that you cannot
We
fill
are
positions.
dealing with Tobago Emergency Management Agency.
Minister, you keep evading the questions and
I
avoiding.
object to what you are saying. You are
How
playing
could
for
you
the
object?
camera.
I'm asking you a
You
question.
are
How
playing
many
to the
permanent
gallery.
positions are there in the
Madam
THA?
Chairman, could I have a ruling here? Are we not dealing with 008 Tobago Emergency Management Agency sub-item 16?
All
That
the
is what
heads
we
are
are
under
dealing with.
16.
You
What?
are playing for the camera.
Come on, stop talking foolishness all the time.
Okay.
You're back
so-
into that mode.
right, okay.
When are you going to change?
You
this
are
thing?
gallerying for the camera.
Your voice is
Member,
pathetic.
member,
You are insulting.
Your
Minister
behavior is
of
bewildering.
Finance,
Madam Chairman,
and
he just
the member
insulted
from
me.
Caroni East.
He's insulting me. He's calling me by name. He's breaking every rule in the book. There you go, Madam Chairman, you hear him? Playing for the gallery, pretending to be the victim, knowing fully well
Your
that what you're
arrogant
asking
behavior is
wrong.
bewildering.
You know what you're asking is wrong.
I don't think it's bewildering. This
Okay, so gentlemen,
Madam Chairman,
I think you all have had,
ruling on this, please.
1 minute please, I think you all have had enough opportunity to vent. I am now speaking. I am now speaking. All right, so in terms of this, I would like us to proceed in a much more respectful manner of each other. It's either we can answer the question, or we ask me to rule that it's not a question to be answered, or we say that the information will be provided in writing. As far as our personal opinions of each other, I think we could trade that in another place. Okay? I know we've been here for many days, and we must all be very tired and weary. All right? Let's don't inflict that on the public. All right? So, in terms of this, member for Caronese, I think in terms of the overall global question you want, I think you have an opportunity to ask that at another time. Not necessarily under this head, and maybe not even necessarily here, but you have an opportunity because we continue to meet at other times, and I think you could most probably elicit that information at another time. Okay, so, well, the thing about it is that I have ruled that the global question cannot be asked under this head. And there is, it is acceptable if somebody finds that the question is not relevant, that they don't have to volunteer an answer. Sometimes members volunteer, sometimes they don't. All within rights that we have. Okay? So, you have member for Caronese, new question.
This is under planning, 011.
We haven't reached planning as yet.
All right, okay.
I don't need you, Minister of Finance, to assist in that regard. Thank you very much. We're still under item 008,
All right.
Tobago Emergency Management Agency. Are there any other questions here?
The question is then, how many people are employed under contract on the TEMA?
Under contract, I think the answer was 46.
Okay, thank you.
I think the answer was 46. Any other question? Okay, so we move on to item 010, Information Systems Department.
Yeah,
Member for Couva North.
Thank you,
Contract.
Madam Chair. Minister, line item 16. Again, contract employment. How many persons employed? Because I'm seeing a 2020 estimate at 1 million. How many persons?
8.
8. And line item 28, other contracted services, 500,000 for 2020. Exactly what are these other contracted services?
Rental of minor equipment.
Thank you.
Caronese, you have a question? Okay, all right, so I'll now call that 011, Planning, Member for Caroni East.
Could the THA or the minister indicate how many contract employees are there under line item 16 for planning?
9.
9, okay. 9 at $2 million for 9 employees. So that's an average of $250,000 per employee, which comes to more than $20,000 per month. So you have 9 top positions there, because that $25,000 per month is a salary for top positions. So if you have 9 employees getting $2 million, could you explain that?
I'm advised that the provision is for persons in position and vacant positions they wish to fill. And therefore, you cannot do that calculation that you
So
just
how many vacant positions are there then, if that is a consideration?
We'll get that information for you.
So you don't
But
want to
it's
provide
more
it?
than 9. So therefore, your maths is wrong.
So how much, 40?
I said I would get it for you. You see, you keep doing
All right.
this.
Okay, you
You
have a
pretend you don't
responsibility.
hear what I say.
Member
I
for
take
Cougar
down the
North, do you have
information
any
that you're supposed to
questions?
provide.
All right, so we move on.
Yeah.
Item 012, land management, member for Cougar North.
Madam Chair, again, Minister, line item 16, contract employment. Your 2020 estimate is 3 million. Exactly how many positions are filled? How many are vacant?
There are 23 persons there, and there are a number of vacancies. The exact number of the vacancies is not available at this time, but will be provided.
All right, line item 22, short-term employment at 388,000. Exactly how many filled positions and vacant positions exist under this heading?
Right now, there's nobody in position, but they intend to employ people for land management. In
Do you have a number of how many at this
I don't have
time?
that information at this time, but I will get it for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so we move on to subhead 03, minor equipment purchases. Item 001, general administration. Member for Cougar North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line Minister, 01 vehicles. Now, Madam Chair, if you would just permit me a minute. Last year, I had asked many questions on this vehicle vote because there was a lot of money allocated under every vehicle vote. I got no assurances from the THA with respect to clarification as to how many vehicles were purchased for fiscal year 2019. I'm very much willing to hear at this time if you have the numbers.
What's the plan for 2020?
01 vehicles, I'm seeing 340,000 for 2020 and 340,000 for 2019. So how many vehicles you would have purchased, or were these funds wired elsewhere?
I have total figures. I don't have it broken down. At least, actually, I do. In 2019, they purchased 5 vehicles, and in 2020, they plan to purchase a further 5 vehicles. With respect to this particular one, general admin, it's spread among information department, TIMA. No, I'm talking about last year. Sorry, 2020 going forward. Protocol, information, TIMA, so, and 2019, chief administrator, property management, and CERT. Okay.
Thank you. So 5 last year and 5 this year?
Yeah, total,
Total, yes.
Total,
Thank you very much.
Item
Go ahead.
Item 002, information. Item 007, public administration. Item 008, Tobago Emergency Management Agency, member for Cougar North.
Yes, ma'am. Again,
Yeah.
01 vehicles. 2019 revised estimate at 1.2 million, 2020 estimate at 1.2 million. Exactly how many vehicles were purchased last year? How many you intend to purchase this year?
Now, what I told you was that the 5 and 5 is for all departments, eh? Are you going into individual departments now?
Yeah,
Well, I may not have that level of detail. 2 for which one?
2.
2.
2. And what type of vehicles?
Ford Ranger.
Ford Ranger.
Not a Porsche like your minister bought.
All right, Minister, no need
It's
to be...
not all right.
No need to be
wasn't all right.
riotous in your
It
comments.
wasn't all right for him to buy a
No
Porsche.
need to be riotous in your comments.
It was
No
not
need.
all right for
The
him to buy a
THA
Porsche.
secretary bought what type of vehicle?
Public
they-
needs to know your minister bought a Porsche.
Okay, so we move on. Item 010, Information
Please.
Systems
No, he looks for
Department.
that.
Item 011, Planning. Item 012, Land Management. Subhead 04, Current Transfers and Subsidies. Excuse me. Item 005, Non-Profit Institutions. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 01, contribution to non-profit organizations. I'm seeing an allocation of 800,000. Can you tell me how many? 35. Okay, thank you.
Item 007, Households. Item 009, Other Transfers.
Yes, ma'am.
Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 02, Tobago Information Technology Limited. I'm seeing that there's no estimate for 2020, and I'm seeing that it's transferred. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Division
No,
03.
Madam Chair,
Oh, sorry.
009.
099. Sorry, Member for Carinaes.
Yeah, that's all right. Line item 03. Could you let us know what is this establishment of a public service academy? 5 million is for it, and 5 million was spent already.
So what did you spend in?
So that would be 10 million for the public service academy.
It's a training and education institute for public officers. The money is for consultancy.
All right, okay.
Member for Shagona
Who's the
Seas.
consultant?
Yes, who's the consultant?
Is it one consultant or a team?
Hold your fire. They are starting off with a single consultant, Mr. Roland Batiste, former
And who was there?
CPO.
But 5 million was spent already. Who was
Apparently
the
that's an error.
Huh?
Apparently that's an error.
That's an error. Okay.
No money was spent.
Okay.
So
So revised estimate of 2019, which shows 5 million, is an error.
I have been advised by the officials of the THA. Remember, I am simply here
Yeah, I
to
know.
communicate.
I'm not blaming you.
I know, but before you start to blame me, they are telling me it's an error.
Okay, I accept that.
Member for Shagona Seas? Yes? Member for Couva South.
thank you, Minister. The Public Service Academy and this allocation, will it be spent on contract officers?
Training,
Yes, I know, but training.
consultancy services.
And the Public Service Academy will roll out whatever. Will it be geared for training as it relates to contract officers?
Everybody, they're training everybody.
Well, I know there are different terms and conditions. A public officer will be mandated, a contract officer may tell you that is not within my terms and conditions. I don't have to go.
That is unnecessary speculation. The training academy is for everybody.
So, Minister,
Member for Carinaes.
Minister, so Mr. Roland Batiste his contract is for 5 million.
No,
For training of the
I
PM.
made that crystal clear. It's for consultancy services, and the first consultant they intend to hire is Mr. Batiste. Obviously, if he's the first, there will be a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth.
For what period of time is Mr. Batiste employed for $5 million?
They are still in the preparatory stage. I said it is for consultancy that is to happen. And it is not for $5 million for one man, and they are still finalizing the terms and conditions. The first consultant that they intend to bring on board in sometime in fiscal 2020 will be Mr. Batiste.
Could
But
you
they'll bring
indicate-
other people on board, experienced professionals such as he.
Could you indicate how many people will benefit from his training, approximately?
Give me the entire, give me everybody in the THA, give me the, how much? 12,000.
Okay. Right. Entire public service.
Division 03,
Excluding
Finance and the Economy. Subhead 01, Personal Expenditure, Item 001, General Administration, Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 14, remuneration to members of cabinet-appointed committees. I'm seeing an allocation of 300,000. It's a new sub-item. Could you clarify what cabinet-appointed committee? How many members?
This is not cabinet appointed. This is THA appointed. Yes, it appears these are committees that would be appointed by the Executive Council of the THA itself. You're just using a term that is not entirely, doesn't fit. It's really appointed by the Executive Council, okay? And it would be, they have a Infrastructure and Investment Strategy Committee, multi-sectoral committee to lead the development of a Tobago infrastructure investment strategy. It involves planners, engineers, project managers, other technical staff, representatives from the public utilities and environmental agencies, as well as financial and economic analysts and social scientists, to ensure that there's proper harmonization of the work of the various divisions of the THA.
And what is the duration of these committees?
It would be a permanent thing, I would assume. It would continue.
Permanent thing,
I would think so for the time being.
Okay.
Yeah, but the life of each committee is 1 year. So they would be renewed as and when and if required.
Thank you.
Item 002, Finance and Accounting.
Madam Chair.
Member for Carinese.
Line item 01, salaries and cost of living allowance, approximately 11.65 million. How many officers, or what's the complement of persons for that?
There are 110 positions. 63 of them have been filled and 47 posts are vacant.
Does this figure include the cost of the 47 positions which are vacant or not included?
Yes, it's a provision that includes for hiring of
All right.
persons to fill the vacant posts, and that's for the entire finance division of the Assembly.
Right, thanks.
Item 003, Customs. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 03, overtime monthly paid officers. Minister, I'm seeing an exorbitant sum of 5.1 million. Please explain how many officers.
Now, firstly, you can't make that statement. You have no factual
Excuse me?
basis for saying it's exorbitant.
Well, compared
And
to
secondly,
the other overtime
I
heads,
didn't
Madam
interrupt
Chair,
you, Madam Chairman, I did not interrupt
this
you when she was
amount
speaking. I would like to be
is
able to
extremely
speak
high.
without interruption.
Okay,
go ahead.
Thank you. You cannot say it's exorbitant because you have no facts to back up that statement. And one of your members recently complained about delays in the clearance of customs goods, containers, and other items that have to be inspected by customs. So you can't on the one hand complain about delays, which found its way into the newspapers by one of your agents, and on the other hand complain about paying customs officers for overtime. It's either you have it or you don't have it. So this is to ensure efficiency in the operations of customs in Tobago.
How many officers, Minister?
I can't tell you offhand, but I can get understanding of how the estimate was arrived at. It would be based on previous years' experience.
Thank you.
Item 004, Inland Revenue. Item 013, Cooperatives. Subhead 02, Goods and Services. Item 001, General Administration. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 16, contract employment. 2020 estimate at 3 million. Exactly how many officers are on contract and how many vacant positions?
16.
Okay. No vacant positions.
We will check and get back to you on that.
Thank you very
Member
much.
for Caroni Central.
Caroni.
East, sorry.
East. So, Madam Honorable Minister, for 16 people employed, at 3 million, that works out close to about 200,000.
You going back with that?
Yes.
I've told you there are vacant positions involved. Why do I have to keep repeating myself?
Well,
You're doing
spent.
fake
All
mathematics.
right, okay.
And you're doing it deliberately.
No,
You're playing to
no,
the
no.
camera.
Hold on.
You're
You
gallerying.
I'm not bothering to argue with you. I'm
Thank
just asking you facts.
Thanks for not arguing. You're gallerying.
We can argue outside,
Good.
not in the house.
Let's do that.
3 million was spent last year. So does that include the vacant positions expenditure? Is the same 3 million allocated this year?
Last year, there was payment of gratuity, I'm told.
There were
And,
what?
and this year, the payment of gratuity will not be the same. And therefore, cannot look at a bare number and draw the conclusions that you are drawing.
So just repeat.
It's algebra. It's not arithmetic.
Last year you said the 3 million was paid for what?
The 3 million I'm going to talk slowly. The $3 million spent last year included the payment of gratuity to contract officers. This year, the gratuity payments will not be the same as last year because gratuity payments arise whenever a contract comes to an end. Contract employment is staggered, and therefore gratuity payments arise at different times. So in this year, gratuity payments will not be the same as last year. And therefore, you can't look at a bare number of 3 million last year and this year and conclude that the circumstances are identical.
Okay, well, thanks for the explanation.
Thank you for listening.
Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 22, short-term employment. 800,000 allocated for 2020. Exactly how many positions at short-term employment? And are there any vacant positions also?
5.
Thank you. No vacant positions.
No.
Okay, Madam Chair, line item 28, other contracted services. I'm seeing an estimate for 2020 at 2 million. What type of other contracted services?
Servicing of elevators, pest control, air conditioning repairs, management fees for the gym, waste disposal, and landscaping services.
Thank you.
Item 002, finance and accounting. Items, sorry, Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, again, line item 16, contract employment, an allocation of 2.5 million. How many contract employees? And are there any vacant positions to be filled?
2, 3.
23.
Any vacants?
Yeah.
Any vacant positions?
We will have to get back to you on the vacancies.
Madam Chair.
All right. Madam Chair, line item 22, short-term employment at 1.5 million for 2020. How many positions and are there any vacant positions here?
It's a provision. There are no persons employed on short term at this time in this division.
Okay.
Member for Caroni East.
With respect to line item 16, the contract employment of 23 people, your 2.5 million, did that include gratuity as well for 2019?
No. You want to do the maths?
Item 003,
yeah.
customs.
Divide 2,500
Member
by
for Couva North,
23.
you're still in item
You'll see they only
002.
getting 9,000 a month.
Could I have some order in my meeting,
You
please?
don't want to do the maths with
Member
this
for
one?
Couva North.
Minister, focus, please. Line item 37, janitorial services. I'm seeing 2 million allocated for 2020. Can you, would you clarify a little bit on this 2 million janitorial services?
It's for cleaning.
No, how many buildings or offices? Is it just for one building? Are there other buildings?
One building.
Sorry?
Do you know where the financial complex is in Scarborough?
Madam Chair, I will not answer that question. I'm asking how many buildings? Is it one building? 2 buildings?
All right. Since it appears you do not know where the financial complex is, it is for the financial complex building in Tobago,
So it is
which
one
your member
building.
for Couva South has correctly identified as the Victor Bruce
That's all
Financial
well and good.
Complex
So it's
in
one
20
Scarborough,
years to build.
in Tobago.
It's one
20 years
building.
to build, Mr.
2
Finance
million
Minister.
for janitorial services for one building.
It's a large building.
Yes?
If you knew where it was,
All right, line
you would
item
know it's a
43,
big building.
security services. I'm seeing
You
an
must visit Tobago
allocation.
every now and then.
Minister, please.
I'm seeing an allocation for 2.3 million for security services. Is it for that one building also?
Bridget is not even.
Item 43.
Item 43, is it for that?
I think Lavajil
Yes?
was here.
It's
Thank you
for
very
that
much.
large Tobago
Thank you very
financial
much
complex.
to the THA officers, of course,
Item
who are
003
answering, unlike the
customs.
minister.
You're very rude, you know.
Item 004, inland revenue. Okay, so
03.
for the purposes of us trying to get through this, so that the officers of
Yeah,
Tobago,
he started his games already.
can we have one conversation? I would like us to be mindful that the officers from Tobago also have another head, and they also have to catch a flight. So I'd like us to be very productive so that they can make their flight. Okay? Member for Couva South, and I want to remind the member for Caroni East that I've given him a big responsibility with respect to that other half of the room, which he told me disturbs him. So I've given you a responsibility to help police that. Okay. Item 003, customs. Member
Thank
for Couva
you.
North.
Thank you, Madam Chair, to the officers from the THA who are very cooperative. Line item 16, contract employment.
Madam Chairman,
I'm seeing an
really,
allocation of
this is going too
350,000.
far. You are well aware
Madam
that you
Chair,
have to ask me.
Yeah, Minister, I think she was being cooperative in assisting
No, she's
you.
being facetious.
No, she meant cooperative in assisting
thank you, Madam Chair.
Please,
Thank
item
you.
16, contract
Employment. Thank you. There's an estimate for 350,000 in 2020. Can you tell me how many positions and if there are any vacant positions?
Currently 2 persons employed and there are vacant positions. I can't give you the exact number now.
Thank you very much.
Anything else?
No, ma'am. 004.
Item 004, inland revenue. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 16, contract employment. Again, I'm seeing an allocation for 510,000. Can you tell me how many positions and if there are any vacant positions?
1-4.
14.
And
Any
if we
vacant
have
positions?
vacancies, I will get back to you on that.
Thank you very much. Line item 37, janitorial services,
he ain't
an
doing that
allocation
so
of 340,000. Minister,
That's
can
all
you
You're not paying them?
tell me how many buildings that janitorial services sum is for?
1 building.
Thank
One
you very
floor
much.
of 1 building.
1 floor, 1 building. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we move on to item 008, budget division. Item 011, business development unit. Member for Couva South, is that your hand? Okay, good. Item 012, consumer affairs.
Yes,
Member
ma'am.
for Couva North.
Line item 16, contract employment, 1 million or thereabouts. How many positions and are there any vacant positions?
Any vacancies? 5, yes, there are vacancies.
Do you have an idea how many vacancies exist at this time?
No.
Thank you.
Can we move on now?
Yes?
Yes. Item 013, cooperatives.
Yep.
Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 16, 117,000 for contract employment. How many positions and are there any vacant positions?
Any vacancies? There's 1 person and there are vacancies.
Thank you very much.
Karen,
Madam
you
Chair,
wanna do
line
the maths?
item 22, short-term employment, an allocation of 60,000. This is for how many employees?
None at this time.
None at this time.
It's a provision
Okay.
for some person, 60,000 for the year.
Thank you.
Caronice, you want to do the maths? It's too little. It's too small.
Member
Continue.
for Couva South? Member for Couva South?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Really? You can't
Minister,
do maths now. Minimum wage is
Member for
3,500.
Couva South?
I am trying to get the Minister of Finance. to
You have
put-
my attention. Member
Yeah.
for Couva South?
Thank you, Chair. Minister, in your budget presentation, you enunciated the creation of an authority as it relates to cooperatives in Trinidad and Tobago. And will the cooperative continue to exist in the THA if and when this national authority is created? In terms of 16 and 22 from a contract employment and short-term employment point of view.
I can assure you that the provisions here are for the cooperative division in Tobago in 2020.
And under the THA, so
The cooperative division in Tobago in 2020.
so this authority will, when it becomes a reality, will the employees be transitioned in or will they continue to exist separate and apart? Based on your plans?
I think I've answered, but I'll try and answer again. This allocation is for cooperatives in Tobago in 2020.
Thank you, Minister. That
You're
means
welcome.
your cooperative authority will not happen in 2020.
That question is not relevant to this line item.
Well,
This is for
I can
cooperatives in Tobago in
conclude
2020.
whatever I want to conclude.
You do. You always do.
Item 015, Financial Literacy Secretariat. Member for Couva North?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 16, contract employment at 1.4 million. How many positions and are there any vacancies?
4 employed at this time and there are vacancies.
Okay, thank you. Line item.
Do the maths.
Line. Okay,
Don't be
gentlemen.
ridiculous. There are vacancies. Stop making up stories.
Continue, Madam
Member
Chair.
for Couva North?
016, Madam.
Item 016, Youth Energized for Success. Member for Caroni Central?
I wonder if the minister could explain what this program is and whether the contract employment 16, 22 short-term employment, and 28 other contracted services all involve youth employment, or whether it sets up the administration to get the program going.
Just hold.
Minister?
Just hold. The Youth Energized for Success program was launched in 2012 by the then Chief Secretary of the THA. Its mandate is to nurture an environment that ensures employment and stability of youth. It collaborates with divisions of the THA, the private sector, and local, regional, and international agencies to expand and enhance training, employment, and entrepreneurial opportunities for young Tobagonians, thus preparing them to lead in the development of Tobago. Some of the achievements in fiscal 2019 include facilitation of resume writing and interviewing workshops at 9 secondary schools, 1 TechVox school. Total number of participants was 412, which was a 25% increase over 2018. Also, a continuation of the life skills training campaign, exposing 38 participants to educational, social, health, and economic relevance in our socioeconomic landscape, an increase of 39% over 2018. Trained 47 persons in professional development. Executed the 6th installment of the summer internship program during the period July to August 30, 2018, facilitating 57 students. facilitated 2 youth entrepreneurship workshops. There were 76 participants for 2019.
Yes, you were very generous in explaining
Well, you asked.
what it is, so I'm happy for that.
It is preparing young people for leadership positions in Tobago.
Yes, I heard you, Minister.
I just thought I would repeat it.
I just, and I appreciate the elaboration, I have no problem. I just wanted to ask though, if the contract employment, the short-term employment, and the other contracted services, and you could deal with them each if they're different, whether they relate to youth employment or whether it is the employment to establish the entity that would do what you were saying. Yeah.
That is for the staff of this unit to train
Right.
youth for
Right.
leadership.
Okay. I just wanted to understand that clearly.
Okay, member for Shogunas East.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Honorable Minister, just want to confirm, all that you read out just now in terms of what this program is about, is it that all of these students are in school? Are these things conducted while they are in school?
Yes. And some would have been done in the vacation period.
I know, but they are students within the school
said
system.
yes. Yes has one meaning.
You're coming on me now with this?
But I said yes.
Member for Couva North.
That's the next head.
Okay, so we go on. Emergency Social and Medical Assistance Unit. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, again, line item 16, contract employment. You have an estimate for 346,000. How many persons, and are there any vacancies?
2.
Any
And yes, there are vacancies.
Okay, thank you very much.
Item 018, Communications Unit.
Thank
Member for
you.
Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 16, contract employment and 1.1 million. How many persons? Any
2 at this
vacancies?
time, and there are vacancies.
And for short-term employment, line item 22 at 129,000.
None at this time.
Sorry?
No people employed at this time. It's an allowance, a projection.
Thank you very much.
Item 019, Economic Management and Research Unit. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 16 again, Minister, contract employment at 2.5 million. Exactly how many persons, and are there any vacant positions?
11 and vacancies.
Thank you very much.
Item 020, Investment and Public-Private Partnership Unit. Member for Couva North.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 16, contract employment, 1 million. How many persons, and are there any vacancies?
3 persons, yes, vacancies.
And, okay, ma'am, yes, the next heading.
Item 021, Strategic Sector Support Unit.
Minister, line item 16, contract employment at $1 million. How many persons?
4, yes, vacancies.
Yes, vacancies. And the short-term employment at
None.
150,000?
None, it's a provision.
A provision. Thank you very much.
Member for Cardi Central.
Yeah, could I ask what is the strategic sector that it supports?
The private sector.
Huh?
The private sector
Okay.
in Tobago.
Member for Shogunas East.
But he might think it's Trinidad.
You missed, but I'll
Yes.
come back on it.
Member for Caroni East, did I see your hand? Okay, so
Thank you for not
we
putting
move
up
on.
your hand.
Subhead 03, Minor Equipment Purchases. Item 001, General Administration. Item 002, Finance and Accounting. Item 003, Customs. Item 004, Inland Revenue. Item 008, Budget Division. Item 012, Consumer Affairs. Item 013, cooperatives. Item 015, financial literacy secretariat. Item Item 016, youth energized for success. Member for Chaguanas East.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. If I wanted to take a look at this location, where is it? Where I can find, what? Yes. Yes, that has one meaning. I'm in 016. I see you have office equipment and furniture and furnishings. And no, I want to know where I can visit this facility. Where the equipment is going. Oh, in Victor Bruce. Right. Yeah, I know where it is.
Tobago,
I know where it is.
a large building.
I know where the building is.
Item, Chaguanas East, are you finished? Are you finished?
Tell Cooper
Item
North where the building is.
017, Emergency Medical and Social Assistance Unit. Item 018, Communications Unit. Item 019, Economic Management and Research Unit. Item 020, Investment and Public-Private Partnership Unit. Item 021, Strategic Sector Support. Subhead 04, Current Transfers and Subsidies. Item 005, Non-Profit Institutions. Item 007, Households. Member for Chaguanas East.
Madam Chair, thank you, but I was going to ask if we could have gotten some information with respect to the 005, the amount of 46.1 million. If not now in writing.
All right, okay, so we are aware.
But what information do you want?
About the non-profit institutions that will benefit from this.
You want to know who they are, how many of them? What
Yes, yes, of course. You have a list?
He's talking about this contribution to non-profit. You said 46 million? Is that what you said? It's 1 million.
It's 01.
Why
Okay.
so? It's not
Okay,
46.
Okay, so the 05 is, the contribution is 1 million. What will
Higher
that,
non-transfers
okay,
and subsidies.
so what will that mean, the 1 million? You have a list of it?
There are 11 organizations. We can get you the names if you want.
Yeah, if you could give it to me in writing.
But it's 1 million, it's not 46 million.
No, that's all right. I was just
It's not
reading
all
the-
right
I was just
for you
reading
to
the
say
header.
the wrong thing.
I was just reading the head at the top.
Yeah, I know, deliberately.
Member for Vancouver North, are you under 005?
007, ma'am.
Okay, so we move on. Item 007, Households. Member for Vancouver North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 40, gratuities to contract officers. I'm seeing it as a new sub-item for 2 million. How many contract officers to receive gratuity?
42.
42. Thank you very
And
much.
thank you for not asking me what that is.
I know what it is.
Well, tell Karen. Tell Karen East. No, tell Karen East what it is now.
I have a question for you, Minister.
Member for Caroni East.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'm just wondering if in the other areas the minister was saying that when we asked about the salaries and so on, it included gratuities. This is a separate heading by itself. Why is this not incorporated in
You
one
see
of the
why I
other
told you I
headings?
had to tell him?
Yeah, Andy?
Because he don't listen, you know.
don't listen.
I will
I'm listening
explain
to you
for the
attentively.
17th time that in 2020, we are decentralizing the payment of contract gratuities. But by definition, when I say in 2020, we are, future tense, it means that we didn't do that in 2019. So in 2019, it was included in a lump sum in another head.
But I see that you have also included in the other areas gratuities in 2020 as well, when you were asked the
For the
question.
18th time,
Well, the 19th time I asked you that.
we are future tense decentralizing gratuities in 2020. In 2019, gratuities would have been paid otherwise. So if you look at 19, a gratuity payment might be included in the overall figure for contract employment.
Okay.
But in 2020, it's disaggregated. I've now said that 19 times.
I didn't see any special allocation for gratuities in the other subheads and yeah. So it was not.
There are Every single department and ministry has a new item gratuities. I cannot believe that you would say that. We've looked at about 100
It was not
such
shown in the
instances.
previous-
That is not true.
If the chair would allow me to go back, I will show you.
No, you can't go
I
back.
will show you.
You could go forward. You'll have to go back to the first day of the Standing Finance Committee. Every day we're doing this, over and over, just for you. And pretending you don't know.
9 other transfers.
It's just a pretense.
Member for Chaguanas East.
Thank you very much. If the minister is
40
listening, I will then, when he's paying attention, I will then
I
ask
am
the
always paying attention.
Thank you,
I'm
Madam
always
Chair.
ready.
Honourable Minister, line item 28.
I like Hulk.
What do you say?
If you were a movie fan,
So
Hulk
line
said
item,
in a movie,
Minister
he's
of
always
Finance.
angry.
line
Minister
item
of Finance.
28. Line item 28. The establishment of an intelligent island, 3 million was spent and 3 million allocated.
Okay, so we had item 009, other transfers.
You know, Madam
Remember,
Speaker.
Minister
Sorry.
of Finance, please.
No, I'm going to deal with
Minister of Finance, please, the member for Chaguanas East has my ear, he's at line item 28.
I just want to know, what is this concept about? What was the 3 million spent on? And what is the 3 million again going to be spent? It reminds me of Singapore, the intelligent island.
So that's another.
The Wi-Fi in the whole island.
Okay, Madam Speaker,
No,
perhaps the noise.
I studied there. I know about anybody.
Like what's going on now. Perhaps the noise had distracted you, but he did ask the question and I was about to answer it. We spoke about this last year.
Sorry?
We spoke about this last year.
It's all right, but I just wanted to know.
I'm just giving you a precursor.
Okay.
We spoke about this last year.
We could speak about this year.
Wow, Excellency, quality.
Essentially, the Intelligent Island Project is to make ICT readily available in Tobago, all forms of ICT,
To every citizen?
as far as is possible.
So what was the 3 million, Madam Chair? Sure.
Again,
It-
I am simply reporting on behalf of the THA, and I'm advised that this was not spent.
Oh, it was not spent.
That I'm
And
advised.
what is proposed to be spent? Why you have,
What's the question, please? I'm waiting for the question, because you asked multiple things there.
I was asking, Honourable Minister,
Yes?
nothing was spent in 2019. Why wasn't it spent? And what is proposed to be spent in 2020? And nothing was there.
Okay, what I'm advised is that the THA is in discussions with Huawei Technologies and B-Mobile, and they are looking towards a number of projects and programs and strategies to improve ICT in Tobago, including enhancing ICT infrastructure across the island through the implementation of high-speed broadband connectivity, developing and installing digital infrastructure to improve connectivity across the Assembly and between the Assembly and central government, standardizing digital tools and services across the Assembly for all events, products, services, and programs, providing incentives for international ICT professionals to share their expertise with local counterparts to enhance the quality of local ICT products and services, as well as providing necessary technical assistance, and empowering young adults by providing capacity building activities with specific focus on coding, user interface, user experience design, and animation. And the $3 million will provide for the engagement of TSTT to provide consultancy services for the Intelligent Island Project. It includes marketing and sales, development of a skilled or high potential workforce, training and development, identification of business partners with regional and global support networks, cloud and connected data center services, fiber and submarine link communications. Is that enough?
Thank you.
You're good?
Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 26, project finance and repayments at 18 million for 2020. Can you tell me for which projects these monies are allocated for?
Mill-Sherv project.
Mill-Sherv project.
If you, do you know where that is?
I know that. Mill-Sherv
Corner of
project.
Chauvin Road and Milford Road? The one you tried to stop?
Madam Chair, can you
And lost the
caution the Minister of Finance, please? I didn't ask for his opinion. I didn't ask for your opinion.
Let me repeat, that item is for the Mill-Sherv building.
Thank you very much.
A project the UNC tried to stop and lost in court. And our able Minister of National Security, then in private practice, was part of the victorious team on part of the THA that beat the central government at the time, for which I congratulate him again.
Okay,
Member
okay,
for Caroni Central.
And use my research, that's true.
Project financing repayment.
Okay.
So,
Member for Caroni East.
These financing repayments under line item 26, how long is it going to continue for? At approximately 18 million per year.
It's a bold project, build, own, lease, transfer. The period of the lease is 20 years. They are in the third or fourth year at this point in time.
So the cost, total cost would be approximately 360 million, 20 by 18.
Do the maths.
Yeah. So we have paid 4 years out of 20 years. So we have 16 more years to pay, 18 million per year.
I think at this time, your arithmetic is almost correct.
Okay.
Division
It's generally correct.
04, Food Production, Forestry and Fisheries. Subhead 01, Personal Expenditure. Item 001, General Administration. Item 002, Agriculture, Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 29, overtime for daily rated workers. I'm seeing 1.8 million allocated. How many daily rated workers do we have?
Breakdown division by division. The total number of daily rated workers for the entire assembly is 520. So, oh, I'm so sorry. For the entire division of food production, forestry and fisheries, total number of daily paid workers is 522.
522. Thank you very much, Minister.
Member for Caroni Central.
01 and 02. Salaries and cost of living, 7.3, and wages and COLA, 32 million. Are these sums all for office workers in agriculture or office and field workers?
You sure? Yeah, he's on the agriculture. Everybody, in and out, inside and outside, field and office.
In office and field.
Field and office.
Okay.
Member for Oropuch West.
I'd just like to follow up with the question that Caroni Central asked. How many persons that involved in and outside, inside and outside? What's the total number?
It's not disaggregated into this single division. What I can tell you is that in the division of food production, forestry and fisheries, the permanent establishment is 336, of which 121 positions are being filled. That would be monthly paid. And then in daily rated, there are 522 persons. So you're talking 643 persons in all in the division of food production, forestry and fisheries.
Thank you.
Item 003, Marketing. Item 004, National Resources and Forestry. Item 005, Marine Resources
Chair.
and Fisheries.
National.
Subhead 02.
004.
Subhead 02, Goods and Services. Item 001, General Administration.
All right, okay, just skip.
Item 002, Agriculture.
Madam, what Are you on?
Page 36.
Could we go back to page 35, please? 002.
Jessel?
Madam
So we
Chair
have
was moving
item
fast.
002, agriculture.
Yes.
Okay. Item number?
002, goods and services, under 08, line minister.
No, just wait. You're under general administration then?
Yes.
Okay, but I'm in agriculture.
Can we go back, Madam Chair?
No.
1 minute, please. What item number is it?
Line item 08, rent, lease, office accommodation and
Okay.
storage.
All right, so I'll allow it. And members, just try and
Thank
pay
you
attention.
very much.
I
Yes.
know, as I say, I know the lines are narrow, but let's try and pay attention. 08.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Minister, I'm seeing an estimate of 2.8 million for rent, lease, office accommodation and storage. Can you clarify for this amount? How many buildings, or is it for one?
4 buildings,
Four
Tobago
buil-
Cold Storage and Warehouse, Shaw Park, then administrative offices, department offices, etc. in Glen Road.
Thank
4
you.
buildings in all.
Madam Chair, line item 16, contract employment. Minister, I'm seeing an allocation for 8.2 million. Exactly how many officers for contract
They
employment?
don't have it disaggregated. I can get that for you. Just a
Total? Okay, so
yeah.
what's the total?
Now remember, look at the top of the page, yeah? You'll
Food
see
production,
Division
forestry and-
04,
yes.
food production. So they have numbers of contract employees for the entire division,
Lee.
which would be 111. But
100.
It's not, they don't have it disaggregated among fisheries, natural resources, forestry, etc.
Okay, and any vacancies?
34.
34 vacancies. Okay, thank you. Madam Chair, line item 22, short-term employment. I'm seeing an allocation for 500,000. How many positions? And are there any vacancies?
3 so far, and there would be vacancies.
3 so far. Okay, thank you.
Okay, item 002, agriculture, we're on page 36. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 43, security services, 5.5 million. Can you clarify a bit on the security services?
There would be the 4 buildings that we spoke about that are rented at Shaw Park and Glen Road, and there are other buildings the THA owns which are not rented, that would, where this service is required.
Okay, thank you very much.
Item 003, marketing. Item, member for Couva North.
Line item 37, janitorial services, 400,000. Can you clarify also for that? How many buildings
That's for the property in Shaw Park.
in Shaw Park? And line item 43, security services, at 600,000. Is it for the same property?
Correct is right.
Okay, thank you very much. And just to confirm, Minister, I know you told me that the overall figure covers all of the division for line item 16, contract employment, right? At 3 million. That is inclusive of the original figure you gave?
The figure I gave originally
Yes.
had nothing to do with contract employment. The figure I gave originally related to public officers in establishment positions and daily rated workers on the daily rated cadre.
Okay.
If you want assistance in terms of the terminology, you could speak to
No,
Couva
no.
South.
Then I will ask, Madam Chair, on line item 16, contract employment, I'm seeing a figure of 3 million. How many positions under marketing?
It's not disaggregated. I just said that.
You know, that is what I was asking before, Madam Chair.
No. I gave you the total for the, I said, look at the top of the page, Division 04.
Yes, you
I
gave
gave
me
you
the
the total
total.
of contract officers,
Yes.
public officers, daily rated workers.
And that is why I asked if this particular line item was inclusive of the
And if I
the numbers
said
you
I
gave
gave
me.
you the total, by definition,
Madam Chair, can we move on? Thank
each
you
one is
very much.
included. You're just asking questions
Thank you
for
very
no
much,
reason.
Minister. Let's move on.
Just being silly.
Item, member for Diego Martin, Northwest. Let's stop with the
Northwest?
adjectives.
There's no northwest.
Okay? Northeast,
Okay.
northeast. Let's stop with the adjectives, please. Item 004, natural resources and
After
forestry.
8 election, try again. I know you campaigned against me last election.
Member for Couva North.
And you failed.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Minister. Line item 43, security services at 1.3 million.
I will still get water
Can you
free as my
clarify?
constituent.
Line item
Line
43.
item 43,
Glen Road,
Glen Road. That's one building, for one building on Glen
3
Road.
locations in Glen Road.
3 locations on Glen Road. Thank you very much, Minister.
Item 005, marine resources and fisheries. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 43, security services, again, 1.6 million. How many buildings?
All over Tobago.
Okay. How many? You have a number of figure?
Several.
Do you have a figure?
No.
Can you provide it in writing at a later
Yes.
date? Thank you very much, Minister.
Subhead 03, minor equipment purchases. Item 001, general administration. Item 002, agriculture. Item 003, marketing. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 01, vehicles. In 2019, you had an estimate, a revised estimate of 425,000. This year, you have an estimate of 1 million. Can you tell me how many vehicles were purchased last year? How many you intend to purchase this year with this allocation?
The division intends to purchase 2 vehicles in this year.
2 vehicles. Any was purchased last year?
Don't have the precise details, but I'm told yes. And the vehicles this year includes 1 flatbed trailer truck, which you will appreciate is quite an expensive piece of equipment.
Thank you, Minister.
Item 003, marketing.
No, we were there.
Item 004, natural resources and forestry. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 01, vehicles, Minister. You have an allocation of $500,000 here for 2020. Exactly how many vehicles you intend to purchase?
We'll provide you with that info.
Was any purchase last year for 275,000?
We'll provide you with that info.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Item 005, marine resources and fisheries. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, ma'am. Line item 01, vehicles again, Minister. Last year you had a revised estimate at 250,000. This year you have it at $500,000. How many vehicles were purchased last year and how many you intend to purchase this year?
I'm advised that none were purchased in 2019. And will provide you with the info with respect to 2020.
Okay, thank you very much.
Subhead 04, current transfers and subsidies. Item 005, non-profit institutions. Item 007, households. Item 009, other transfers. Member for Couva North. I'm sorry, item 008, subsidies.
Yeah, could I ask
Member
a
for
couple
Caroni
of
Central.
questions on these to the Minister? You have, which agricultural incentive program is this? This is an ongoing incentive program similar in Tobago to what the Minister of Agriculture mentioned yesterday in Trinidad?
Yes.
Right. The second thing is that I see for Tobago Agricultural Society, you have 2 sets of subsidies. One is 200,000 and the other one is $1 million. Can you explain what is the difference?
Which one is apiculture? The first one is apiculture. It's a typographical error.
Okay, and the other one is what, general?
General agriculture. I don't need to tell you what apiculture is.
You want to tell me?
No,
I think I know.
I don't want to tell you.
Okay.
Just want to know if I need to tell you.
Item 009, other transfers, Member for Vancouver North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 01, Tobago Cassava Products Limited, and seen an allocation for $2 million in 2020. Exactly what this allocation is for?
It's administrative payments.
Okay, Minister, but can you also tell me how much revenue this particular limited generates?
We'll provide it for you.
Okay, and how many employees at this particular company?
9.
9 employees. Thank you very much. Madam Chair, line item 02, Fish Processing Company of Tobago. I'm seeing an allocation for $3 million. What is this allocation for?
Same thing. Same thing.
Administrative
Administrative
operations?
expenses. As a
Do you have an
subvention,
idea of how much revenue this company
that will be
generates?
provided.
And how many employees at this particular company?
Will be provided.
Thank you very
Do you know how much
much.
fish they process too?
Yes, if possible.
That will be provided.
Yes. You're
Division
welcome.
05,
You've been very
Tourism.
kind today.
Division
want to know
05,
the type
Tourism,
of fish as
Culture and
well?
Transportation. Subhead 01, Personal Expenditure. Item 001, General Administration. Item 002, Tourism. Member for Vancouver North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 29, overtime for daily rated workers. I'm seeing 1.3 million. How many workers, daily rated workers?
There are in the entire division a total of 236 daily rated workers. I will not be able to give you at this time a breakdown for unit by unit within the division of tourism, culture and transportation. I simply have an overall number
For daily
of
rated.
236 daily rated workers in this division.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Item,
Madam Chair,
yes, Member for Caroni.
the same thing on 02. Minister, I heard you just, is it that you don't have the information on how many permanent positions and how many vacancies you have there too? On the line item 02?
I never said that, you know.
Okay, well, how many?
What I said is I have for the entire division. And in the entire division, there are 85 establishment positions for monthly paid officers, of which 44 have been filled and 41 are vacant. And there are 236 daily rated workers in the entire division of tourism, culture and transportation.
All right, thank you for that.
Item 007, Culture. Subhead 02, Goods and Services. Item 001, General Administration.
Let's contract employment.
Member for Vancouver North.
Everybody.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 08, rent, lease, office accommodation and storage. I'm seeing an allocation for 3.2 million. Exactly how many buildings or offices for this amount?
3.
3. Okay, thank you very much. Madam Chair, line item 16, contract employment. I'm seeing an allocation for 7.2 million. How many contract officers?
99.
99. Any vacant positions?
20.
20. Okay, thank you very much. Madam Chair, line item 37, janitorial services. I'm seeing an allocation for 500,000. Can you clarify?
It's for all of the buildings.
How many?
I just said 3.
3. Okay,
It's
thank
the
you.
same 3.
Line item 43, security
didn't
services, 1 million. Is it for all 3 buildings also?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, so we move on. Item 002, Tourism. Item 006, Transport. Item,
No. Madam Chair, 02, goods and services.
okay, so I want us to try and keep up, okay? Goods and Services.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 16, contract employment. I'm seeing an allocation for 4 million. How many positions? And are there any vacancies?
As I said before, I have only a total, not disaggregated. And therefore, if you ask me unit by unit, I will be unable to answer you now.
Line item 43, Madam Chair, security services. I'm seeing an allocation for 4 million under tourism. How many buildings does this amount cover for security services?
You see, 3 buildings I just identified, plus other facilities such as on the beaches and so on, lifeguard facilities and so on.
Okay, thank you very much. Madam Chair, line item 62, promotions, publicity and printing. I'm seeing an 8 million allocation for 2020. Can you give us a little bit of information with respect
62.
to this?
Motions, Publicity and Printing.
What exactly do you want to know?
Is this part of your international marketing strategy for tourism?
So what's this one?
Yeah.
We'll provide it, but I'm told the marketing is outsourced. International marketing is outsourced.
Okay.
That's what I'm told.
Member for Carney
So I'm
Central.
told, but I will give you the breakdown.
Okay.
All right, so we move on. We at item 006, Transport. Item 007, Culture. Member for Carney, member for Couvan South North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 91, Tobago Heritage Festival. I'm seeing an allocation for 20 million. Can you clarify a bit exactly what the sum is for? The breakdown? Yeah.
Look on page 44. Breakdown is on page 44.
Yes, there's an allocation of 8 million for Tobago Heritage Festival in the breakdown. Exactly what for this 8 million? And is it also to pay artists who have not, an artist who has not been paid? Mr. Gerard Balfour of the THA.
I don't have those details. I'll get them for you. Have you ever been to a Tobago Heritage Festival?
Many times.
Okay, well,
Next time I'm going, I'll let you know.
then you know what it's for.
So you don't have the breakdown for the 8 million, right? You'll provide it at a later
I
date.
just said that.
All right. And Tobago Folk Festival, Minister, do you have the breakdown for that? Because I'm seeing an allocation for 3 million.
I'll get you a breakdown on all of them to preempt your further questions.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Okay, a member for Carney East.
Line item 90, Minister, Folk and Arts Festival, an allocation of 2 million. But in 91, in the allocation of 20 million for the Tobago Heritage Festival, you have an allocation of 3 million there for Tobago Folk Festival. So the 3 million for Tobago Folk Festival on the line item 91, how is it different from the line item 90, which is Folk and Arts Festival with 2 million? Is there a subtle difference somewhere? Could you just tell us what's the difference? One is the Folk and Arts Festival for 2 million, and the other is folk festival for 3 million.
And this is for the actual thing itself. I'm advised that item 90 is for trainers, tutors, who train the persons, and the other item is for the actual festival itself.
All right, okay, you answered it. This for training.
Subhead 03, minor equipment purchases. Item 001, general administration, member for Vancouver North.
Thank you, ma'am. Minister, line item 01, vehicles. I'm seeing an allocation for 300,000 in 2020. Exactly how many vehicles you intend to purchase? And also last year, there was an allocation of 300,000. How many vehicles were purchased then?
The plan is to purchase 4 in 2020. I don't have the 2019 data, but I'll get it for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Item 002, tourism.
Yep.
Member for Vancouver North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 01, vehicles. In 2019, we had 385,000 being allocated. In 2020, we have 500,000 being allocated. How many vehicles were purchased last year, and how many you intend to purchase this year?
The aggregate, the number I gave you was a total. 4 for the entire division of tourism, culture and
okay.
transportation. 1 for the lifeguard unit, 1 for the office of the secretary, 1 for the Department of Culture, 2 for the Department of Culture. So a bus, a SUV, Fortuner, I think that's a SUV as well, and a Nissan Frontier, I believe that's a pickup.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we can move on. Item 006, transport. Item 007, culture. Subhead 04, current transfers and subsidies. Item 005, non-profit institutions. Member for Vancouver North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 01, contribution to non-profit organizations. I'm seeing an allocation of 500,000. How many of these organizations?
21.
21. And Madam Chair, line item 02, assistance to cultural groups. I'm seeing an allocation for $1 million. Exactly how many organization groups?
5 received in 2019.
How many to receive this year?
It depends on requests.
Okay. And line item 03, National Day and Festivals, another 1 million allocated. Exactly, give me some clarification with respect to this.
That's for what it says it is. National days and festivals. For example.
So exactly how many festivals?
For example.
Yes, oh, sorry.
Independence Day. Republic Day.
And what about the festivals?
Diwali. Eid.
Okay. Eid.
Spiritual Baptist. Do you want me to give you a complete list of days and festivals? You want the whole thing? All? Do you not want them to celebrate Diwali and Eid?
No, Minister, don't put words in my mouth. That is not what I said. I'm asking for you to account to the country of Trinidad and Tobago.
And
I don't know why he has to be like this, Madam Chair.
Like what? Like what?
Okay.
Very condescending.
I am condescending.
Yes.
You're being rude.
I
And disrespectful.
am rude. I am
rude
rude.
and disrespectful.
Order. Item 007, households. Item 009, other transfers. Member for Vancouver North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 13, a rolling 3-year tourism plan. I'm seeing an allocation of 150,000. No, I'm seeing an allocation of 40 million, sorry. Can you give me a little bit of clarification with respect to this?
This is not new.
I know
It's the
that.
same thing last year. This is airlift.
For airlift.
Airlift.
Okay.
Planes. Things that fly.
All right, so since we are on airlift, Madam Chair, there was an issue with Virgin Atlantic last year where 10 million went missing. Do you have an update with respect to that? Is
No.
that 10 million covered for in this 40 million?
No.
Has that investigation concluded?
No.
No? How
No
soon before it
means
is?
no.
How soon before we get answers with respect to this
Which line item are you on?
lost 10 million?
Which line
Under
item
the
are you
same rolling three-year tourism plan with respect to airlift.
All right, so
My understanding is...
I can't
No,
allow
I
that.
can give information on what this is for. In this year, 5.5 million for Virgin, 4.8 million for British Airways. Actually, it's two sets for British Airways, three actually. 4.8, 3.5, 7.1, Condor 1.97. Actually, two for Virgin, 5.5 and 5.6. This is for airlift in this fiscal.
Okay, thank you. Madam Chair, line item 16, assistance to sport tourism organization and others. I'm seeing an allocation for 2 million. Exactly how many organizations?
12.
12. Thank you very much. Line item 17, Tobago Tourism Festivals. I'm seeing an allocation of 15.3 million, an increase by 381,000. Which festivals exactly for 15.3 million Tobago Tourism Festivals?
Tobago Jazz. Tourism Week. Blue Food. Dragon Boat. And sundry other festivals.
Thank you very much, Minister. Madam Chair, line item 20, Tobago Tourism Agency Limited. I'm seeing an allocation of 20 million for fiscal 2020. Can you give me some clarification with respect to this?
This is the second year this agency has been established. It will be the first this year that just went, first full year of operations. The expenditure projected is for a number of things, such as trips to Europe and interaction with travel agencies and so on.
Okay, thank you very much, Minister.
And it also involves the Hotel Association.
How so?
They go on trips, they have meetings, they bring people to talk to them. They bring tour operators from Germany, from Virgin, they took them to Curacao in August 2019. They have interaction with Canada. It's a wide range of tourism-related activities designed to showcase and market Tobago.
Very good.
To promote Tobago as a destination for tourism.
Very good, I'm glad.
Member
So
for
am
you? Member for Caroni East?
Yeah, Minister, the line item 17, for which 15.3 million is allocated. And you said that that's Jazz, Blue Food, Tourism Week, Dragon Boat. I just wanted to have some clarification. That is separate and distinct from the 20 million for the Tobago Heritage Festivals and 2 million for the Folk and Arts Festivals. They are separate issues.
Well, they have different names.
But are they basically overlapping? Are they the same? Or?
I don't think Blue Food overlaps with Heritage Festival.
So, you see, we have 20 million for the 15 million there and 22 million on the other side. But the clarity is not there. But perhaps...
There's extreme clarity.
Yeah.
In the list that you're referring to, the word jazz does not appear. The word blue food does not appear. And obviously, these are different things.
So there's a total of about 37 million that the THA spends in festivals and tourism promotion and so on. Plus the 20 million for promotion. That's 57 million.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
You finished? Member for Caroni Central?
Quick question, if the minister would help me. I know he gave the individual figures for airlift for the various airlines, I didn't catch all of them, and I just wondered how much it was. It sounded to me like somewhere between 15 and 20 in total. But if you can just indicate, I mean, I just need to understand.
The information is contained on page 46 under item 00913. Page 46, 00913.
Yeah, I have a little disadvantage because the book that I got, the pages between 40 and 57 are missing.
I'm sorry to hear
Okay.
that. Could we provide the member with... Okay, but if you run into that problem again, we can get another book for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Member for Couva North?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Under line item 17, Tobago Tourism Festivals, you mentioned, Minister, that the Tobago Jazz was catered for under this vote. Can you tell me how much revenues were generated by Tobago Jazz for 2019?
That will be provided.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we go on. Division 06, Education, Innovation and Energy. Subhead 01, Personal Expenditure. Item 001, General Administration. Item 002, Primary, Secondary and Vocational Education. Member for Couva North.
I see you're not
Thank
taking
you,
on-
Madam Chair.
I see you're
Minister,
not taking on the whip.
under line item 16, Contract Employment,
You
I'm seeing an
intend to ask
allocation
questions on everything.
for 10.5. No, you can give me the overall figure.
Okay, we had item
You can give me the
0.
overall figure.
1 minute, please. We had item 002, Primary, Secondary and Vocational Education.
Yes.
I don't see an item 16 here. Okay, so in the meantime, I'll take Karen.
Oh, I went way ahead of you.
Yes.
Sorry,
You're not
Madam
taking
Chair.
on the whip.
Member for Karen.
I went way ahead, sorry.
Yeah,
Listen to your whip.
Minister,
Don't mind my business.
could you give a little breakdown, if your team there with you can give you a breakdown of how many positions we have for primary schools, secondary schools, and vocational? How many are filled and how many are
It's not
vacant?
disaggregated like that. I can give you the total number of workers in each category if you
All
wish.
right, go ahead.
There are 399 positions for public officers, of which 144 have been filled, 255 are vacant. And with respect to daily rated workers, there are 184 in this particular division. And this underscores the point why they have to go for contract employment. Because look at the amount of vacant positions in this division. Out of 399 positions, 255 are vacant. So they have no choice but to hire on contract.
Yeah, but it needs to work on the
It's
Public
not
Service
their
Commission.
fault.
You have to keep
Don't blame
pestering
them. You couldn't do it.
Yeah, we did it. I
You did
filled
not.
a lot of the vacancies.
Item 003, Library Services. Item 004, School Feeding Program. I don't mind the conversation once you're not competing with me. Item 007, Happy Haven School, Tobago Council for Haven School. Item 008, Tobago School for the Deaf, Speech and Language Impaired. Subhead 02, Goods and Services. Item 001, General Administration, Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 16, Contract Employment, I'm seeing an allocation of 10.5 million. Exactly how many positions and are there vacancies?
Once again, I'll have to give you the total.
That would be great.
There are 551 contract positions, of which 477 have been filled, 74 vacant.
Thank you very
I
much.
can't break it down into each unit.
Thank you.
Item 002, Primary, Secondary and Vocational Education.
Madam Chair.
Member for Carney East.
The contract employment under 16, approximately 50 million. That's for what, Minister?
I'm tired, you know.
No.
I just
that's
said I
different.
can't break it down unit by unit. I've given a total.
No, that I was referring that if you go back to 47002, that's where your answer was given. But this is a new area here under 002, page 49, contract employment.
I gave you a total. If you look at the top of the page, this is Division 06.
Yes.
I did this for Division 05 and Division 04 and Division 03 and Division 02
Right.
and Division 01. I
Right.
said I will give you a total of contract employment for the entire division, and I am unable at this time to break it down unit by unit.
All right, okay.
This is now the
I
21st
appreciate
time
your
I've said
dilemma,
that.
and I accept your dilemma.
21st time I've said that.
22nd time
Okay,
I'm asking.
so item 003, library services,
We're still under 02. I had a question under 02.
number you are?
Janitorial services, ma'am, line item 37, Minister. I'm seeing an allocation of 13 million. How many schools in all does this cover? You have a figure?
No.
Okay, can you provide at a later date?
Yes.
And for line item 43, security services, 25.5 million, the same, please, the same figures.
No and yes. Again.
Thank you.
Item 003, library services. Item 007, Tobago Council for Handicapped Children, Happy Haven School.
You know
Item-
already there.
Item 008, Tobago School for Deaf, Speech and Language
Going
Impaired.
backwards.
Subhead 03, minor equipment purchases. Item 001, general administration. Item 002, primary, secondary, and vocational education. Item 003, library services. Item 007, Tobago Council for Handicapped Children, Happy Haven School. Item 008, Tobago School for the Deaf, Speech and Language Impaired. Subhead 04, current transfers and subsidies. We are at page 53. Item 005, non-profit institutions. Item 006, educational institutions. Member for Vancouver North.
Madam Chair, Minister, line item 03, trade centers. I'm seeing an allocation of 12.6 million for 2020. Can you tell me exactly how many trade centers and why we have that decreased by 300,000? Two centers.
I'll have to get back to you on the decrease.
Okay, thank you very much, Minister.
Anything else there? Item 007, households.
Yeah.
Member for Vancouver North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 01, Minister, the school feeding program. I'm seeing an allocation of 37 million for 2020, an increase by 2 million. Exactly what this increase covers?
It's not an increase. The original allocation for 19 was 39. The allocation for 2020 is 37. It's a decrease on the original allocation. This is simply an estimate based on the number of children who require meals,
Okay, thank you.
which is obvious.
Line item 09, Madam Chair, early childhood care. I'm seeing an allocation of 500,000, an increase by 400,000. Can you explain this?
Where's that? We'll get back to you on that.
Thank you, Minister.
But notice it's the same as the 2019.
So is that arrears being brought forward to 2020 because you had a revised estimate of 100,000 in 2019?
I'll get back to you on that. I told you that.
Okay. Well, I'm just responding to what you're saying, you know.
I'm simply saying it's the same as last year.
Okay, Minister, let's move on.
Item
I wish you would.
009, other transfers.
I wish you would. You have 30 more pages.
009, other transfers, 01, basic grants. I'm seeing an allocation of 11 million, an increase by 500,000. Minister, can you clarify?
It's not an increase on the original 2019 figure. Original 2019 was 12.5 million. This is now 11.
Minister, in the budget estimates in front of me, there's under the line increase, there's an increase by 500,000. Can
It's
you
an
appreciate what
increase
I'm saying?
over the revised estimate, but it's a decrease over the original estimate.
Yes, but I'm dealing with 2020.
Yes, so am I.
Okay, so can you clarify?
It's an estimate.
The basic grants,
It's an estimate.
how many persons benefit from these grants?
It's for schools.
Yes, how many schools then?
3.
Thank you very much, Minister. Line item 07, Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute. I'm seeing an allocation for 6 million. Exactly what this allocation is for?
$521.
521.
You're talking about necessitous students? What are you talking about?
Tobago Hospitality
Oh,
and
I'm so
Tourism
sorry.
Institute.
This institute offers programs in culinary arts, tourism, and hospitality. And it's seeking to become accredited.
Okay. All right, line item
And
0.
coming back to the statement on grants, it's actually for 3 schools plus all Anglican schools and all cleaners at all government-assisted denominational schools,
Okay, thank you.
as in Trinidad.
Okay, and line item 08, Madam Chair, Tobago Information Technology Limited. I'm seeing an allocation of 5 million for 2020. Can you clarify a bit on this?
You will move from under OCS to there.
It was somewhere else. It was somewhere else before.
It
Used
was
to be in
what?
Division 02. Look on the right-hand side.
Yes,
in
yes,
the
I know it was,
comments.
it's a transfer that it's been explained here. I'm asking what the allocation is for. Salaries, for operating costs, services, everything. Yes?
Just a second. I'm going to 02, which is what you should have done. And I'm looking under other transfers, and it is there. The expenditure in 2018 was 5.95. The 2019 estimate was 5. The revised estimate was 5. And it is for all its expenses. It's for all the expenses associated with this entity.
Thank you.
Member for Carney Central.
Pass, Madam
All right.
Speaker.
Okay, so we now move on to Division 07, Community Development, Enterprise Development and Labor. Subhead 01, Personal Expenditure, Item 001, General Administration. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Under 02, Madam Chair, sorry, Goods and Services.
Okay. Item 002, Community Development. Item 004, Labor. Member for Couva South, you on the North, are you on the Labor?
No, I'm under 002, Goods
Okay,
and
good,
Services.
fine. Subhead 02, Goods and Services. Item 001,
Thank you.
General Administration.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 16, Minister, Contract Employment and Allocation of 3 million. Can you give me the overall figure for this, this division?
There are 156 positions, 83 filled, 73 vacant, contract.
Okay, thank you very much.
And that's for the entire division.
The entire division,
And I
yes.
do not have
I
member
hear
for
you.
Couva North
I hear
and
you.
member for Caroni East. I do not have a breakdown by unit.
I hear
So
you.
don't ask. And I can get it. So don't ask that either.
Yeah, I did.
We move on.
Yes,
Are we on to item 002?
yes.
Item 002, Community Development, Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 08, rent, lease, office accommodation and storage, an allocation of 5.4 million. Exactly how many buildings for community development?
That will be provided.
Okay, thank you.
Item 004, labor. Item 005, occupational safety and health. Item 006, business development unit. Subhead 03, we are at page 59. Minor equipment and purchases. Minor equipment purchases. Item 001, general administration. Item 002, community development. Item 004, labor. Item 005, occupational safety and health. Item 006, business development unit. Subhead 04, we are at page 60. Current transfers and subsidies.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 005, non-profit institutions. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 01, small grants. I'm seeing an allocation of 400,000. Exactly how many persons benefit from these small grants?
Just one person got a grant last year.
Just one person. And how many intended for this year?
Depend on application
Okay.
and process.
And what is this grant usually for?
For various cultural and community-oriented activities.
Okay, thank you very much, Minister.
Item 007, households. Item 009, other transfers. Division 08, infrastructure, quarries, and the environment. We're at page 62. Subhead 01, personal expenditure. Item 001, general administration. Item 002, maintenance of roads.
Wasting time.
Item 003, maintenance of buildings. Item 004, transport. Item 005, electrical inspectorate. Item 007, mechanical shop. Item 009, the environment. Subhead 02, goods and services. We are at page 64.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 001, general administration. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 16, contract employment. I'm seeing an allocation for 16 million. Can you give me the total figure for this particular division?
181 positions, 85 filled, 96 vacant. And I do not have a breakdown unit by
Understood,
unit.
Minister.
Member for Couva North and member for Caroni East.
Understood.
Please don't ask me, but I will provide it.
Yes. Thank you.
I tell you.
Item
dislike
002,
Tobago intensely.
maintenance of roads.
They don't like Tobago.
Item
Hate Tobago.
003, maintenance of buildings. Member for Couva North.
They don't want
Are you there,
Tobago to
Member
get 1
Kubano?
cent.
No, I'm okay. Go ahead.
Item 004, transport division. Item 005, electrical inspectorate. Item 007, mechanical shop. Item 009, the environment. Subhead 03, minor equipment purchases, page 67. Item 001, general administration. Item 002, maintenance of roads. Item 003, maintenance of buildings. Item 004, transport. Item 007, mechanical workshop. Item 009, the environment. Member for Caroni Central. Member for Caroni East. Member for Caroni East. You are failing me down at that part. Please, you are failing me. Member for Couva North.
Thank you very much. Line item 01, vehicles. I'm seeing an allocation of 540,000 for the 2019 revised estimate and 540,000 for the 2020 estimate for vehicles. Exactly how many vehicles were purchased last year and how many do you intend to purchase this year?
This year, the division intends to purchase 2 backhoes, tobacco loaders, and 2 dump trucks.
Was anything purchased last year?
Don't have that information at this time, but we will give it to you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we go on to subhead 04, current transfers and subsidies. Item 005, non-profit institutions. Item 007, households. Item 009, other transfers. Division 10, health, wellness, and family development. We are at page 70. Subhead 01, personnel expenditure. Item 001, general administration. Item 002, hospitals. Item 003, health centers. Item 004, public health and the environment. Item 005, social services. Subhead 02, goods and services, page 71.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 001, general administration, member for Cuba North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 16, contract employment and allocation of 8.7 million. Can you give me a total figure for the division and how many vacancies exist?
There are 412 contract positions. 272 have been filled. 140 are vacant. And member for Couva North and member for Caroni East. I do not have a breakdown unit by unit, but it will be provided. Please don't ask me for
Thank you very much, Minister.
Anything else
For
on
the
the member
27th
for Cuba
time.
North?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so item 002, hospital. Item 003, health centers. Item 004, public health and the environment. Item 005, social services. Item 007, probation services. Item 008, litter eradication program. Item 009, gender affairs. Subhead 03, we are at page 75. Minor equipment purchases. Item 001, general administration. Item 003, health centers.
Yes, ma'am.
Member for Cuba North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 01, vehicles. I'm seeing an allocation in 2019 for 675,000 and the 2020 estimate for 281,000. Can you tell me how many vehicles were purchased last year and how many you intend to purchase this year?
I don't know what is your fascination with vehicles for Tobago. You don't want them to have vehicles?
Minister, I was elected into this parliament by the people of Trinidad and Tobago. It is my duty to ask these questions. We are examining the budget estimates. I don't understand why you are giving me trouble to answer. Why are you doing this?
You were elected by the people of Trinidad.
This is public
You
money.
seem to dislike Tobago.
No, that is not true. And every right-thinking person can see where you're going with that statement.
Including all Tobagonians.
You are being riotous in your statements.
Know that you don't like them.
Madam
right,
Chair, can
so
you answer my question?
next-
So
please?
therefore,
Member, yes,
Therefore-
that's the answer.
for Tobago, the THA intends to purchase one compactor for the public health department and a 4x4 SUV for the Office of the County Medical Officer of Health. And even though I don't like them, I'm sure they'll provide services if you go there.
Madam Chair, let me make it clear that I love the people of Tobago. And that is why I am asking these questions. It is in their best interest that they know how these monies are spent.
Joke.
The taxpayers' dollars.
Joke.
All right, so member for Diego Martin Northeast, the member for Cuba North has explained her interest in Tobago.
I
Let's
don't
move
believe
on.
her.
Item 004, public health and the environment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 01, vehicles.
Just 1 minute.
Sure.
Member for Caroni East, I think I'm going to have to revoke the appointment. I'll have to revoke the appointment and give somebody else the assignment. I thought with your very senior position of 20 years service here, that's what I've heard you tell me on several occasions, that you will the right appointee.
20 years mischief inside of here.
Okay, so we at item 004?
Yes.
Yes.
01, Minister, I'm seeing a revised estimate for 2019 at 2 million for vehicles, and then a 2020 estimate at another 2 million. Can you tell me how many vehicles were purchased last year? How many you intend to purchase this year?
Same compactor.
Okay. Was any purchased last year?
I'll provide that.
Thank you very much.
Really don't like Tobago, do you?
I love Tobago.
Item
In your
005,
dreams.
social services.
More than you.
In your dreams.
Item 008, litter eradication
You
program.
hate Tobagonians.
Item 009, gender affairs. Subhead 04, current transfers and subsidies. Item 005, non-profit institutions. We are at page 76.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 06, special social programs. I'm seeing an allocation for 3 million in 2020. Can you tell me a little bit about this program?
It's a payment of a subvention to the Family First Foundation and to pay officers under the Community Social Workers Unit.
Okay, thank you.
Item 007, households. Item 009, other transfers.
Madam Chair?
Madam,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, member for Caronies, please.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Under line item 07, the TRHA, the Tobago Regional Health Authority, critically important. Can we have a little idea of the composition of that, which will bring about a
Page
total?
77, 07.
Yeah, but 349 million allocated for the TRHA, Tobago Regional. Can we get a little idea of the personnel and how much for personnel, how much for goods and services? If you have it, I know it's a difficult thing, but you may have it. Just like the RHAs in Trinidad.
We will try our best to provide that to you in due course,
You have the us in writing?
but certainly not verbally.
All right.
Member for
It's
Couva North?
important, Champa, it's important that
Okay,
you all know how
so
many.
we move on to Division 11, settlement, urban renewal, and public utilities. We are at page 78. Subhead 01, personnel expenditure. Item 001, general administration.
Yes,
Member
ma'am.
of Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 16, contract employment. You have an allocation for 3.3 million for 2020. Can you give me the total figure for this particular division?
Just now. So we at page
79?
78. No.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Item 002, settlements. Item 004, electrical inspectorate. Subhead 02, goods
Yeah.
and services, page 79. Item 001, general administration. Is this where you
Yes.
are, Member for Couva North?
Yes,
Member for
ma'am.
Couva North.
Line item 16, contract employment, an allocation of 3.3 million for 2020. Can you give us a number of officers, number of vacancies, and probably for the entire division if you can?
There are 105 positions, 71 filled, 34 vacant.
Okay, thank you.
Item 002, settlements. Item 004, electrical inspectorate. You know at page 81, subhead 03, minor equipment purchases. Item 001, general administration. Item 002, settlements. Item 004, electrical inspectorate. Subhead 04, current transfers and subsidies. Item 001, households.
Actually, 007. 7.
Item, 007, households. Thank you. Division 13, sport and youth affairs, page 82. Subhead 01, personal expenditure. Item 001, general administration. Item 002, sport. Item 003, youth. Subhead 02, goods and services.
Yes, ma'am.
001, general administration. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item, contract employment, and allocation of 1.1 million for 2020. Can you give me the overall figure of employees and vacant positions for this division?
181, none of whom will vote for you.
That's okay.
179 positions filled.
That's all right.
Not one contract officer in Tobago will vote for you. 2 positions vacant.
Okay, thank you.
Because you don't like Tobago.
Item 002, sport. Item 003, youth. Subhead 03, minor equipment purchases. Item 001, general administration. Item 002, sport. Item 003, youth. Subhead 04, we at page 85, current transfers and subsidies. Item 005, non-profit institutions, member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 02, assistance to sporting organizations. I see you have an allocation for 2 million. Exactly how many organizations would benefit from this?
Vote for you.
Madam Chair, the minister has to be crazy. I am the member of parliament for Couva North. It's obvious they're not going to be voting for me. My
UNC.
constituents vote for me.
None of them will vote for
My
the UNC.
constituents, however, voting for Watson Duke is a different story. Line item 03, Madam Chair, Youth Development Program. I see an allocation of 500,000. Exactly how many youths will benefit from this?
I don't have the information, but none of them will vote for the UNC.
Yeah, they'll vote for Watson Duke.
None of them will
That's
vote
who
for
they'll
either.
vote. I urge them to vote for Watson Duke.
No chance. We're getting all 12.
Item 007, households.
Yes,
Honorable
minorities.
members, we will now move on to the draft estimates of the development program. Subhead 09, Development Program Consolidated Fund. We are at page 18.
Page 18, ma'am.
Yes, item 003, Economic Infrastructure. Members, you will observe that this item consists of 8 pages. Therefore, I will announce the project groups. B, Extension Services. D, Fishing.
Yes, ma'am.
Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, line item 143, improvement to beaches and landing facilities. I see an allocation of 1 million for 2020. Exactly how many beaches? And if you can name them, that would utilize this funding for fiscal
You want
2020.
to know how many beaches they have in Tobago?
No, I want to know
You want me
how
to
many.
name every one of
I
them?
want to know how many are going to benefit from this 1 million allocation, Minister. Do you understand?
Couldn't be serious, but I'll provide you with the information.
Thank you.
Are you doing that now or are you doing that in writing?
There's no way I could do that now.
All
I
right.
don't even
So we
myself.
move
I'll have to
on?
go and count all the beaches
We move on under D. Anything else under D?
and every grain of sand.
F, Land Management Services. Member for Oropuch West.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, line item 463, Agriculture Access Roads Tobago. I'm seeing an allocation of 15 million. Can you let us know which areas these access roads have been constructed and the kilometers they covered? How many kilometers?
You're talking about an allocation and
463.
you're talking past tense?
I'm asking you about
which
463.
item you on?
463,
No, which year?
2019,
2019, yeah?
15 million.
You want to know about 2019?
So can you answer the question? respectfully.
I have information on the 2020 allocation.
So anyone you want to give will be satisfactory.
Fine. Bel Air Connector Road, Observatory 1, Connector Road to Speyside, Silcotton Trace, Starwoods, Lambeau Hill, Baptiste Trace, Putney Hill, Park Gully, Bell River, Richmond to Bell River, Richmond, Great House, Top Hill to Doctor Road to Goldsboro, Goldslow Road, Charles Gully to Top Hill, Ashley Trace to Goldsboro, Money Hill, Windy Hill to Goodwood, Cradley to Mason Hall, Adelphi to Widow's Lot, Connector Road to Easterfield Road, Belmont Farm Road, Mount Dillon.
And how much kilometers is that? How many?
Plenty.
Minister, would you be able to provide that in
Yeah,
writing?
would you provide that in writing?
I'll give it to her and
You'll give it to
the
the
member.
Yes.
And I would also say that there's some maintenance work will take place on Lot 31 to Speyside Dam Road, Waterfall Road to Cameron Canal, Zion Hill to Longbed, Bottom Ridge to Richmond Point and Level Bottom, Bushy Park, Mills Connector Road to Grand Gully, Sawmill to Green Hill, Smallville to Mason Hall, Belmont Farm Road, Trafalgar Trace, Adelphi Branch 1.
Okay, all right, Minister.
No, let me
Minister.
finish.
I
You don't
need
want to
to-
hear, you don't want to hear the work the THA is doing St. Cecilia Link Road to Mason Hall, Craig Hall, Indian Walk, New Road in Lekoto, Huntley
Lekoto?
Trace to Pentland, Cullen Farm Road. All of this done by the PNM in Tobago.
And in addition, a follow-up question, Minister. All these roads and what crops the Tobago farmers are planting, all these roads, to bring out what crops, you know? What crops are they planting? Can you tell us? Is it bodi, tomato, pumpkin, what are they planting?
Well, actually, I believe they in Tobago, they call it string beans.
String beans?
Yes.
And they supply who? Who does supply string beans to? Trinidad?
To Tobagonians.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, member
You're
for Carolina
grasping.
Central.
But she said
when-
Bodie.
On
Not Bodie in Tobago.
I would like to hear the question being asked, please.
455, the Agricultural Land Information System and Inventory of State Lands, Tobago. Is the minister in a position to give us the approximate acreage of land under ownership by the state in Tobago?
I really don't have that.
You don't have.
I don't
can
mind giving you,
Yeah,
but
can
I don't have it. So I can get it for you.
Right.
State lands.
State lands, yes. And then the second question in relation
But
to that.
historically, a lot of the land in Tobago is private. Eh?
That's what I
The
thought,
THA
that's
has
why I'm
acquired
asking.
quite a bit of land over the last 20 years or so.
Okay,
So I don't
so,
have the exact acreage.
and then the second issue is the land trust. I see that is not being funded, and I wondered what happened. The land trust, is that for the acquisition of
Well, it
private
wasn't
lands by
funded
the
in
state?
2019 either. So I'll have to get back to you on that.
But-
There was no funding in 2019 for it.
Okay, but was that established, that land trust, to secure private lands on behalf of the House
I'll
of
have-
Assembly?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, all right. So could I also then get the information on any acquisitions that might have taken place with the establishment of the trust?
Well, that is not in last year or this year.
I know that.
So
I know that.
you're kind of going far
Minister,
back.
I'm just trying to get the state
I know what
land
you're
acquisition.
trying, but you're kind of going far back.
H, research and development. A, electricity. A, drainage and irrigation. D, tourism.
Yes, ma'am.
Member for Couva North.
Actually, it's on page 22, line item 349, Minister. Tobago Tourism Agency. I'm seeing an allocation of 5 million for 2020, but I know under the tourism division, previously there was an allocation of 20 million. So exactly what this 5 million is for?
Promotion and marketing towards increasing Tobago's appeal as a tourism destination.
So is this the international marketing aspect that you were talking about earlier?
I think this would be Tobago's appeal to everyone.
Okay. So it's for marketing. All right, thank you.
For people who like Tobago,
G,
Yes.
business services.
unlike
D,
Hopefully
roads
can
and
attract more
bridges.
visitors.
H, C, and
attract people
transport.
who like Tobago.
Can we have one meeting, please? Item 004, social infrastructure. Honorable members, item 004 spans 15 pages. Therefore, I will also announce the project groups. Member for Caroni East, I specifically ask you to keep to the assignment. Thank you. No, I haven't appointed anybody else, so that was just a warning letter. B, primary.
I will appoint an empty chair.
Madam Chair,
Yes, member for Caroni East.
An empty chair. would be better.
770, Honorable Minister, construction of Scarborough RC. You had 14 million spent in 2018, 6 in 19 was the estimate, 6 used it, and no more for 2020. That school construction has been completed, and what was the cost?
There's two questions you're asking there,
Yeah, 2 in 1. The one follows the other.
does it? If you went there, you would see the school is complete.
Yes. What's the cost of the construction of the school?
I'll get back to you on that.
Is it 85 million?
I will get back to you on
But I
that.
think I just wanted
Stop
to ask,
asking questions I
how
cannot
did that
answer.
cost $85
You
million?
are just playing for the camera.
Okay,
You
so
are
let's
playing
go
to
on.
the gallery.
C,
$85 million.
False
C,
information.
secondary.
Bogus information.
E, special education.
I
Yes?
just wanted to ask one on 784, the establishment of the childhood centers.
But you see, you yourself not
Yeah, but-
sticking to the assignment.
All right, a bit
We
slow here.
reach
then.
quite.
Yes, you're slow.
No, Minister of
Listen,
Finance.
But he said he was slow.
I'm saturated.
Minister of Finance, please. Member for Caroni East.
The childhood centers, the establishment of 5 million for it. 5 million was spent already and no allocation. I thought that there was the construction of 5 early childhood education centers to come.
That's been done
Minister
elsewhere.
of Planning and Development.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Member, with regard to this matter, this is
IEDB,
being done with the IDB.
IEDB, so that,
We're in the process now of finalizing how the loan will be activated.
yeah.
Because for the Ministry of Planning to take a loan for Tobago, there is a little issue with how it is to be activated. So we are discussing it with the IDB and the THA and the Ministry of
I
Planning.
wish you well and success
And
in
with
that.
the, thank you, and with the Attorney General's Department.
The IEDB on that, and we couldn't
Well,
start it.
We,
because of
we've
the same
sorted
problem.
out that issue that you all had, but now there's a legal issue with how it
Vis-à-vis
could,
Trinidad and
yes,
Tobago.
doing it for
I
Tobago.
wish the THA young children well.
Yes.
I mean, the Tobago children well.
Okay,
Thank you.
so
About the
C,
construction.
secondary. E, special
The Tobago
education.
children.
G, educational services.
Not true.
A, hospitals. B, medical and dental centers. C, public health services. B, land development. We now at page 33. A, culture. C, sports. A, community development. We are at page 36. C, welfare services. D, youth development. Item 005, multi-sectoral and other services, we are at page 39. Honorable members, item 005 spans 3 pages. I will therefore call the project groups. A, administrative services. F, public buildings. G, equipment and vehicles. Member for Couva North.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Line item 742, purchase of vehicles and equipment. I'm seeing an estimate for 2 million. Minister, can you say how many vehicles or equipment you intend to purchase for fiscal 2020?
You're so fascinated with vehicles.
Yes, I am,
You
very
want him
much
to
so.
walk.
You want to know what else I'm fascinated about? Please answer my
I
question,
have
Madam
no interest whatsoever.
Madam Chair.
No interest
I'll
whatsoever.
tell you after.
So,
I'll tell
want
you.
to know.
we are now
Don't want to know.
we are at line item 742. Minister, are you in a
Look for
position to provide the information?
I'm
or-
scared.
Well, we only want the information on vehicles
Yes,
and equipment.
please, vehicles or equipment.
Scared. I'll provide it for you, I'm afraid.
Thank you very much,
What else are you
Minister.
interested in?
Honorable
I'll tell you
members, the
after.
question
It's
is
frightening.
that the sum of $2,264,638,000 for head 15, Tobago House of Assembly, stand
no
part
idea.
of the schedule. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The sum of
Thank you very much. Y'all have been very helpful.
$2,264,638,000 for head 15, Tobago House of Assembly, now stand part of the schedule. Thank you, members of the Tobago House of Assembly.
Yes, they were very good.
Head 16, Central Administrative Services, Tobago. Head 16, Central Administrative Services, Tobago, $35,175,950. Yeah, is that? Our front desk. Front, yes. So will you find it? Lisa? Okay. I will now invite the Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister to make a brief opening statement, not exceeding 5 minutes, Minister.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Central Administrative Services Tobago plays a critical role in Tobago, ensuring that the services of the Office of the Prime Minister are available on the island and is responsible for supporting all central government agencies in Tobago. This mandate is executed under 3 main sections: administrative services, which includes the Treasury, the Weights and Measures Inspectorate, General Services, Finance and Accounting, Information Communication Technology, Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation Unit, Human Resource, Internal Audit and Communications Unit, Meteorological Services, which provides reliable data on weather and other environmental conditions for aviation and the public, and Registrar General, which provides a range of services to the public for the registration of births, marriages, death, business, land, and other legal recordings. Over the next fiscal year, the Central Administrative Services Tobago plans to strengthen the internal capacity of the department as it relates to the flow of information and security, and to invest in equipment that will improve the monitoring of weather systems to allow for more efficient aviation operations at the A&R Robinson International Airport. CAST remains committed to the development in Tobago and will continue to strengthen our internal capacity to ensure that our human resource is equipped. Furthermore, we intend to harness innovation to stay relevant in a new age of technology so that we can meet the needs of the people we serve. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable members, the question is that the sum of $35,175,950 for Head 16, Central Administrative Services, Tobago, stands part of the schedule. Honorable members, the sum of the $35,175,950 for Head 16, Central Administrative Services, Tobago, is comprised of monies proposed for expenditure under the following subheads and items to be found in the draft estimates of recurrent expenditure and the draft estimates of development program. We shall now proceed to consider the draft estimates of recurrent expenditure. We're at page 68. Subhead 01, personal expenditure, Item 001, General Administration. Subhead, item 02, Trade and Industry. Item 005, Meteorological Services. Item 007, Registrar General. Subhead 02, Goods and Services. Item 001, General Administration, Member for Couva North.
Minister, line item 16, contract employment. I see an allocation for 1 million. Can you give me the overall figure for Central Administrative Services in terms of contract employees and if there are any vacant posts?
Okay, in terms of contract employees at OPM CAST, we have a total of 10.
Any vacant positions?
No.
Okay, thank you very much.
Item 002, Trade and Industry. Item 005, Meteorological Services. Item 007, Registrar General. Subhead 03, Minor Equipment Purchases. Item 001, General Administration. Item 005, Meteorological Services. Item 007, Registrar General. Subhead 04,
Yes, ma'am.
Current Transfers and Subsidies. Item 005, Non-Profit Institutions, Member for Couva North.
Thank you. Minister, line item 01, contribution to non-profit organizations. I see an allocation of 400,000. Can you tell me how many organizations benefit from this?
How many will benefit?
Yes.
Okay. In the last fiscal, approximately 10 organizations benefited. However, it depends on the number of organizations that apply, and then the committee will evaluate and select accordingly.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Item 007, Households. Honorable members, we will now move on to the draft estimates of the development program at page 43. Subhead 09, Development Program, Consolidated Fund. Item 005, Multi-sectoral and Other Services. Honorable members, the question is that the sum of $35,175,950 for Head 16, Central Administrative Services, Tobago, stand part of the schedule. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The sum of $35,175,950 for Head 16, Central Administrative Services, Tobago, now stands part of the schedule. Honorable members, I believe there's agreement that we go to the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs. Yes, so we'll take that now. Head 65, Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs. Okay, could we resume some order, please? Head 65, Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, $273,047,930. I will now invite the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs to make a brief opening statement, not exceeding 5 minutes. Mr. Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Chair, the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs has been resolute in the fulfillment of its mandate in support of Trinidad and Tobago's development objectives, as articulated in the National Development Strategy 2016 to 2030, otherwise known as Vision 2030. The Ministry engaged in strategic diplomatic engagement domestically and in a very dynamic and increasingly complex international operating environment to ensure efficient welfare, or rather efficient delivery of services and intensified representation and the protection of the interests of Trinidad and Tobago at home and abroad. The Ministry has supported Trinidad and Tobago's social and economic development efforts through planned and managed interaction with the international community. The focus, Madam Chair, was on ensuring the best outcomes of the negotiation of agreements, other bilateral and multilateral engagement, and capacity building opportunities for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. The allocation to the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs for the 2019-2020 fiscal year will be used to build on the foundation laid over the last 4 years of the government of Trinidad and Tobago's term in office. The intention, Madam Chair, is to strengthen relations with Trinidad and Tobago's partners and develop new partnerships while expanding the country's reach in other jurisdictions. The Ministry will continue on this trajectory during the fiscal year, making adjustments as necessary with proper financial management, aware that while the country's financial situation improved under the tenure of the government of Trinidad and Tobago, there is need for continued prudent management, flexibility, and a focus on the most beneficial outcomes of activity undertaken on behalf of the government and people of our country. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honourable members, the question is that the sum of $273,047,930 for Head 65, Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, stand part of the schedule. Honourable members, the sum of $273,047,930 for Head 65, Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, is comprised of monies proposed for expenditure under the following subheads and items to be found in the draft estimates of recurrent expenditure and the draft estimates of the development program. We shall now proceed to consider the draft estimates of recurrent expenditure. We are at page 329. Subhead 01, Personal Expenditure, Item 001, General Administration. Member for Naparima.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, item 01, salaries and cost of living allowance. Could the minister explain the reason for the increase in the 2020 estimates of $1.4 million?
Madam Chair, as of the 30th of September, an amount of $1,942,000, or rather $19,424,112 was expended. The difference, therefore, would be somewhat limited, and that figure includes provision for vacant posts with incumbents. And that is the situation, Madam Chair.
Okay, could the minister then give us an idea of the number of vacant posts with incumbents that relates to this expenditure?
Madam Chair, allow me to give further information that will be helpful. Vacant posts, we have about 20, not about 20 vacant posts in the ministry at this time.
Mm-hmm. And that is at the level of the FSOs and IROs or throughout?
Madam Chair, all told the figure is 20.
Okay. Minister, would you be in a position to tell us, in terms of the salaries, how many of the FSOs and the international relations officers are on contract and how many are permanent?
Madam
This
Chair.
is on the 01?
Yeah, 01 salaries.
So you want to know how many are permanent?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam, should I respond?
Please.
Thanks. More information is on offer, and while slightly off course, I would say that on the establishment, there are 131 appointed officers, 172 in temporary or acting positions, 20 vacant. bringing the total number in the establishment to 303.
Okay, all right. Item 28, remuneration to cabinet appointed representatives. See, nothing was spent based on what we have here in 2019. Could the minister indicate, again, the reason for this allocation and to whom does it refer?
Madam Chair, no one is targeted or envisaged. The purpose behind such a program subsists. It relates to increasing the profile image of Trinidad and Tobago abroad, instilling hope in the youth of our country, a mentorship program, and there are no persons contemplated at this point in time. As I said, the need subsists, and this provision would, we hope, amply cover such an undertaking.
So this refers to like publicity and outreach.
Madam Chair, the response remains the same.
Okay, item 002, overseas missions. Member for Naparima.
Just a minute. Salaries and cost of living. Cost of living allowance, $10 million. Could you give us a rationale for that?
$10 million, the line item.
Increase.
I look at 002 overseas mission 01 salaries, cost of living expense. I notice a figure here of 44 million contemplated for the year 2020, 9,890,000. I take it that is the figure.
I believe maybe that's why the question may be, if I am permitted to recast it, is the reason for the increase. I believe that's what you asked, of $10 million. So he's rounded off the 9,890 to 10 million. I think that's what the honourable member is asking.
Okay, we continue at the level of the ministry, Madam Chair, to be forward-looking in the filling of posts abroad in our missions, 19 of them. We have, through stringent and prudent management of the resources allocated to us, to be operating while at a sub-optimum level, but fully meeting our responsibilities. It is our intention in the upcoming year to make amends to some extent, and that figure amply, hopefully, would cover such an intention.
Could the minister indicate whether this refers to recruitment of staff or increases in existing salaries and emoluments?
Madam Chair, should I respond?
Yes, please.
I would have alluded earlier to the establishment, and those numbers I would have given would be linked to that provision. I can also further share, perhaps in a liberal way, more information as regards the staff complement at our missions abroad.
That would explain the increase.
Madam Chair, number of officers, total 76 at our mission abroad, and these are home-based members of staff. The number relative to locally recruited in such locations amount to 144 persons.
Okay.
04, allowances, monthly paid, 600,000. Does that relate to existing staff or those who have demitted office and therefore are owed? You're
asking for the reason for the increase?
Yeah, the reason for the increase.
Yeah, okay. So what I would ask is, because maybe you're a bit more comfortable than a lot of us with these figures,
okay,
so that if you would take the care to phrase the question in the proper way so that we could all become comfortable too,
okay,
with what is being asked.
Okay.
Yes.
Madam Chair, should I respond?
So, let me rephrase the question.
Should I respond, Madam Chair?
let me rephrase the question, Madam Chair, with your permission.
Please.
So question 2, wages, I'll bring it
So
under.
you're no longer in 04?
No, I'll bring it under 02. And the question would be, is that increase of 858 wages and COLA, does that include payments to diplomats who have retired? Or is it for existing staff? 02, wages and COLA.
Pay retirees wages?
No, but you have arrears. You could have arrears of payments. Okay. Let him answer, Madam Speaker.
No, not let him.
Yeah.
That's the minister. But I think we have a little difficulty. And again, as I say, maybe you're really so comfortable with this. But we have a difficulty in the question is being asked.
Right.
Because I myself was shocked to hear that we pay retired people wages. So if you want to ask if this figure includes any arrears, I think that might be a more
All right, Madam Speaker.
comprehensive.
Madam Speaker, wages refer to salaries and emoluments that you pay, but in that is a component of arrears. Is it? I'm asking the minister.
I perhaps could clear up a little doubt here. While the comfort might not be misplaced, Madam Chair, additional information could help. These figures here relate to persons alive and hopefully well. They are working persons. So it says exactly what it says there. COLA and wages, working, living people. The other one goes with monthly paid officers, that category, and so on. So it has nothing to do with ex officio persons or ex-heads or so on.
But let's go on.
I would like to hear, I would really like to hear the responses and all the side conversations really inhibiting my hearing.
So therefore, it does not include
Okay,
arrears.
so where are we?
It has nothing to do with
We
it.
finish.
New question, yes?
No question.
Okay, can we go on? Subhead 02, Goods and Services, item 001, General Administration. Member for Naparima.
Item 16, contract employment. Could the minister indicate the officers to which this would relate?
Officers to whom?
To whom this will relate, this item?
Madam Chair, should I answer?
Yes,
It would be business operational assistants, IROs, international relations officers, senior IROs, IT personnel, and such monthly paid persons under contract.
Thank you, Minister. Anything else, Member for Naparima?
Official overseas travel, there's an 800,000 increase?
Madam,
Line item 27.
27. Just 1 second. Revised figure 900,000, 1,700. Yes, what is the question? The question is what is contemplated, envisaged with this increase?
Yes.
The official overseas travel. Once again, Madam Chair, we have been operating at a level befitting our straitened academic times. And the need to interact with the international community to further the interests of Trinidad and Tobago remains as strong. And at the level of the government, we intend to persevere with our remit, and that amount, that increase, is what we think would be adequate.
Item 25, audit of overseas mission. And we see an almost doubling of the figure. Does this indicate that there's need for additional? Do you intend to increase the level of audits that are done on various missions?
Madam Chair, the just 1 second. What is the actual amount that we spent Madam Chair, I would really like to give the up-to-date figures of the 30th of September for that amount, 27. So with your forbearance, if I could just see overseas travel here, 940. 940 we would have spent, and we intend to increase that oversight function. That is what we intend to do. We would have recently completed the inspection of 2 missions, India and China, and we intend to continue in that vein. The increase is to treat with such commitment on our part. Thank you.
Minister, there are 19 missions, am I correct, or thereabouts? How many were audited last year, and how many do you intend to audit in the coming year, fiscal year?
Madam Chair, 20 missions we have on the outside, and we have not yet defined to the extent that the number can be shared of the missions that would be audited. It is dependent on which missions, and we have not yet come to such a determination.
Okay. Could you tell us how many were audited in this fiscal year, in 2019?
I just mentioned 2.
2? Okay. Okay, okay. Item 51, relocation of overseas staff. Is that, Minister, is that based on a policy of rotation of staff, or is this new missions that have been established? Is there a rotation policy for staff?
Minister?
Madam Chair, the same rigor to which I would have referred to in preceding years subsists. That function resides squarely with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and as Minister, we do what is required both in the rationalizations, rotation of staff members, and the staffing of our headquarters. And this amount here treats with the relocation. Sometimes there's a delay or hangover from a previous financial year. And once again, the determination has been made on our part of the ministry that this sum is what is involved.
Okay. Missions, India, Japan, and others have a policy where of 2 terms out, 2 tours of duty out, and 1 in, so that staff in overseas mission do not lose contact with capital. Do we have such a policy which informs this expenditure?
Madam Chair, inherent with what I just said, it includes all and every such possibility.
Okay.
All right, so we go on to item 002, overseas missions.
002?
331 to 330.
Yes.
Subhead.
Could is it possible I could just go back to 63?
No, let's, having regard to the time, let's go to item 002. You have 2 pages here.
Okay.
You have anything there? Overseas mission.
Yes, I do. The rent, 08. There's an increase in $2 million. Does the ministry have a policy in respect of doing rental as opposed to purchase options in determining whether properties are rented or not?
Madam, the figure, the revised figure in respect of 2019 year amounts to 10 million. The amount for 2020 is 12 million, 2 million more. In that figure there, the estimates, that is for the revised estimates, we have 2 outstanding payments, one in respect of China, expensive location there I add, and the other for Abuja. That would bring the figure up to the estimates of around 12 million. So that figure there of 12 million is what is contemplated to pay off those 2 outstanding amounts. And we are opening, or we are in the process of opening a mission. In fact, 2 members of staff are in Guyana to operationalize that venture, the opening of the mission in Guyana. And once more, that is the figure that we think would be appropriate in the circumstances.
Member for Caroni Central.
Ma'am, under overseas missions, I want to ask the minister, and he can choose whether he would answer it. The minister in his opening talked about strengthening relations with existing partners and building new partnerships. I wanted to ask the minister if he could identify one or two of the new partnerships that they are trying to build on behalf of the country, and what might be the overseas missions that are involved in pursuit of this to support the minister.
All right, but we under goods and services, overseas missions. So I don't know if you could maybe craft your question, which seems to be a general one, in terms of one of these line items.
But if he would accept it under 02, I asked it as a general question, but, you know.
Okay, so the only difficulty I have with allowing that member for Caroni Central is that right now we're interrogating 002 overseas missions. And I don't know that that could be crafted under any of these heads. Maybe when you get on to maybe the DP, there may be a
Okay.
Okay, so member for Kumuto Manzanella.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Honorable Minister, line item 23 fees. Can you identify the fees that have been incurred? What are the reasons for these fees, please?
Just 1 second. Fees. Yes.
Line item 23.
Yes. 23, just. I don't see, these fees would be in respect of legal fees, primarily translation fees and the like, Madam Chair.
Legal fees and translation.
By way of examples, Madam Chair.
Line item 50, Madam Speaker, Chairman, which is on the other page. Line item 50, housing accommodation.
Yeah.
Could the Honorable Minister indicate who benefits from this housing accommodation?
Minister?
Madam Chair, I would like to vary the benefit element as an integral part of the remuneration package of staff members. Housing is provided in a shared way, and this figure covers members of staff, home-based members of staff located at our missions abroad. And the figure of 20 million is the figure that corresponds to meeting such costs.
Thank you.
And this would account for the care of our overseas mission, immigration as well, for particularly our person in Venezuela.
Madam Chair, should I respond?
Because in immigration, would immigration come under?
So you would like to ask the minister whether immigration officers are covered under
Yes,
this
I could
rule?
answer.
Yes.
Minister?
Madam Chair, our missions abroad is an integrated affair, and all members of staff, whatever their portfolio, and, would benefit from certain terms and conditions of their employment, and as I've just intimated, housing is one such.
Thank you. Member for Naparima.
Madam Chair, the Minister, you have spoken about new initiatives, new partnerships. I think my colleague from Caroni Central was referring to that. And I'm looking at item 17, and I find, given the new initiatives and perhaps missions being developed in Guyana, I understand one in Qatar, etc., I find the training is a little low. 7,000. Is this what does this refer to, and is it adequate in your view? 7,000 for training.
Madam Chair, the evenness of experience and training is not what one would readily come up with. Our staff members abroad are highly trained and experienced, and that training component in the current economic times we think is adequate, and training beyond that would be met with that figure is provided, we envisage, by members of the international community with whom we have been able to cultivate over the years very close and meaningful relationships.
Minister of Planning, just 1 minute. Minister of Planning and Development.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for the opportunity to intervene here. Just to say that the Ministry of Planning and Development is the ministry through which all training comes. And you would recall when the Ministry of Planning was being examined, we talked about the new international desk division that we're setting up to deal with training and dealing with the UN and all other international agencies. And quite a lot of the training that we do get for officers is done for free through grants and through offers of training, and all that we have to provide is a top-up in the travel and the other allowances. So this figure would reflect what the minister has said, but training generally comes through the Ministry of Planning and Development.
Okay, member for Kamuta Manzanilla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Honorable Minister, line item 58, medical expenses. Could the Honorable Minister indicate how many persons would have been, would have supplied? I mean, this is we revised figures in 2019, 6.6 million. And then, of course, we have an estimate for 2020 of 7 million. How many persons really would have been submitted medical expenses throughout, I guess, throughout the missions?
Madam Chair, I have an inbuilt weariness to treat with personal details of health issues with the staff members, so I would not seek refuge, but I would go back to the document detailing, or rather the information of how many of our staff members, home-based staff members, are at our missions abroad. The number is 76.
76 members. And we have here a figure of 6 million being expended in medical expenses in 2019, and an estimate for 2020 of 7 million.
I'm not sure.
The question is, member for Kamuta Manzanilla.
How many persons really, I mean, was it at all 77? Was it surgery? I'm not asking in intimate details, but, you know, I find these expenses a little...
I think if I understood what the minister said, is that he has a difficulty in identifying people.
I know he has a difficulty,
But what he says is
madam.
that the figure, when he says he takes resort in the figure, he's saying that that figure is used then as a projection to cover the overseas staff at the missions. I think that's what I understand.
That would be for 2020, but they would have had expended in 2019.
With your permission, Chair, those would be the eligible persons for receipt of health services, and that figure, is contemplated to cover such via insurance, health insurance.
So out
policy.
of the 77, how many persons are eligible?
2019 and not 2020.
Yes.
Yes.
So if 77 are admissions, how many are eligible out of that 77? All?
As part of their remuneration package, Madam Chair, that is what I said earlier, an integral part.
Okay, so can we move on? Subhead 03, minor equipment purchases. Item 001, general administration. Item 002, overseas missions. Subhead 04, current transfers and subsidies. Item 001, regional bodies, member for Naparima.
03, Minister, Grenada Consular and Trade Office. I think this relates to the fact that we pay for Grenada's Consular and Trade Office in Trinidad. Am I correct?
Madam Chair, this is a matter that predates the current government.
Mm-hmm.
We hold, as a government, great store, and as a people, dare I say, across the board, we hold great store in ensuring that market access is maintained and expanded for our exporters of Trinidad and Tobago to the CARICOM market, and the closeness of the ties with our neighboring countries is such that we have determined that continuation of this initiative is worthwhile. As I said, it predates the current government.
Yes. So, Minister, this 302,000 increase relates to Trinidad officers in this office or Grenadians working there?
Madam Chair, I would add that this figure has an arrears component of 1 year, and the payment of rent, I am not sure of the linkage between the number of persons of whatever nationality. I'm not sure the linkage to the undertaking to meet such payments to ensure that our close relationship is maintained. I should add as well, as an initiative of our Prime Minister, our standing in the region is once more something that we should all be proud of.
Member for Naparima.
Minister, all I need is to find out whether this is an office to facilitate Grenadian representation in Trinidad or Trinidad expanded exports in Grenada. That's all I ask.
The response has been ample and complete, Madam Chair.
All right.
Item 002, Commonwealth bodies, member for Naparima.
Commonwealth Secretariat, I see we are in arrears of our payments. Am I to assume, given the fact that there's no expenditure on 2019 revised estimates?
Madam Chair, as regards the Commonwealth Secretariat, as of the 30th of September, we would have expended $1,471,747, and we think that this is a figure that we should work with, given the quota contribution that is our commitment to meet with that organization.
So, Minister, you're just saying that this figure in front of us has been updated, and you have spent 1.7 million or thereabouts, correct?
Madam Chair, these figures are what they are, meaning that 002 Commonwealth Bodies, 01 Commonwealth Secretariat, the figure for the estimate is 1.7 million. I'm seeing that we paid 1.4 million, and the figure that is in the estimate amounts to 1.6 million, and that is the correct figure in our estimation.
Okay.
Okay, so we move on. Item 003, United Nations Organizations, member for Naparima.
01 United Nations Regular Budget and Working Capital Fund. I see nothing in front of me. I see nothing has been spent in 2019, and it goes similarly for 02 United Nations Program of Assistance and Exchange in the Field of International Law. 03, I wouldn't spell it out. 04, 05, and 06, that is the International Criminal Courts. Could the Minister confirm whether this is correct or he has updated figures for us?
Madam Chair, I would opt to provide useful information. In respect of the United Nations body, that is UN ECLAC, that is 00303, a sum of 1.3 million, 1,361,000 was paid as of September the 30th. A further sum amounted to just under 5 million was paid relative to the peacekeeping operations, that is 00304. Most of the others have not yet been paid. We continue to manage and husband the funds allocated to the ministry in such a way that our commitments are honored. We maximize the benefits of participating in the international organizations, in this case, the UN bodies, and we would continue to make the payments and manage our affairs in a way befitting our circumstances.
Could the Minister indicate under 01, that's the United Nations Regular Budget and Working Capital Fund, how much of the 5.7 was paid as of September the 1st?
Madam Chair, I just said it a while ago. I made mention.
You said 03, 1 million, and 04, peacekeeping, 5 million. Under 01, was it the 5 million relates to that?
Madam Chair, just by way of clarification, I opted to detail the two payments that were made, and I said most of the others have not yet been made, and I continued by detailing our approach. And I would further add that currently, as indeed when such issues arise, whether in respect of international organizations or the management of our missions in terms of meeting payments and other administrative matters, we manage them in a certain way, and I could add that currently we are making our best efforts to meet the other payments, inclusive of the one referred 00301.
Well, I will recommend that you pay attention, Minister, to 01, irregular budget and working capital, because it was published recently that we are one of 64 nations that are recorded as bad pay in the United Nations. And also the fact that we will be going for a non-permanent seat on the Security Council. We have an excellent ambassador at the United Nations, Her Excellency Penelope Beckles, and I know how it is embarrassing when you are attending meetings and you're reminded that you have not paid your dues. So all I'm just asking you to use your good office with the Minister of Finance to ensure that item 01 is paid expeditiously. Thanks.
Madam Chair, I can't let this one go by. I don't think it is fair, given how we've been proceeding expeditiously, to lay a platform, whether for personal aggrandizement or to go in a slant which I deem it not appropriate nor useful. We could have gone ahead without this. Thanks.
Item 007, households. Item...
Severance benefits 01.
Nafrima, you're under 007?
Yes, 01, severance benefits. Does this increase of 1.8 relate to ambassadors and high commissioners and consuls general who demitted office in 2015? And could you give us a status of how many severance payments are outstanding to those officers?
Madam Chair, once more, these are for living persons and employed or about to be separated or have just been separated. It deals with local recruited members of staff at the missions, butlers, drivers, maids, and the like. And that is the figure contemplated. It does not have anything to do whatsoever with ex-heads of missions or any such person. Thank you.
Member for Nafrima?
No.
Okay. Item 009, other transfers. Item 010, other transfers abroad. Member for Naparima.
Madam Chair, and through you to the Minister, the same comment relates to 05, the group of 77, and GRULAC, the group of Latin American Caribbean states. Could the Minister give us updated figures? Because in front of us, we see that there was no no payment for fees.
Madam Chair, these three, group of 77, I continue the group of Latin American Caribbean states, and FEMCD, I think that even is a voluntary contribution, but whatever it is, those three, we are managing the payment in a way befitting our priorities and our circumstance, and within the general framework of course, meeting our commitments.
Minister, with respect to the group of, item 06, the group of Latin American and Caribbean states, 5,000 ought not to have been a significant expenditure, and surely we could have accommodated that. $5,000.
Answered? In terms, this has been answered?
There is no question there.
Okay.
That's a banter. That's all.
Remind the Minister, again I'll remind that in order to get the kinds of posts for which we have submitted nominations, we need the group of 77 support, and we also need GRULAC support, more importantly, GRULAC support. And I think an expenditure of 5,000 ought to have been spent.
Madam Chair, I wouldn't respond, but I'd make a comment. In the House, there's a substantive and excellent, dare I say, Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs.
Yeah.
Excellent. So gallerying and carrying on wouldn't carry us any further. Do not take it as an insult. Just respect, and those are the options that we exercise. That's it. Thank you.
I asked a specific question on a specific item. There's no gallery in there. Whether or not we paid 5,000 is a straightforward question requiring a straightforward answer. If you cannot answer, say so, and don't get into editorializing.
Well, okay, so I do recall a question being put in terms of, I have it 05, 06, and 07. And I heard the minister say something that we are managing the payments. I think that's what I heard in terms of those three that you had put as a group. Okay? All right. So, honorable member, any more questions? Honorable members, we will now proceed on to the draft estimates of the development program. We are at page 138. Subhead 09, Development Program, Consolidated Fund. Item 005, Multi-sectoral and Other Services. Member for Shugona sees?
Can I ask on the A, Administrative Services, when you get there?
Yes, you may.
I could? Okay, thank you. Honorable Minister, I want to deal with line items 058 and 066. Now, what I can infer from this, it appears as though Qatar will now be the new embassy. And what I can infer as well is that it will be a new embassy, but will it also be a trade office? I have a subsequent question when the minister responds.
The figure contemplated here, $1.5 million, is to cover the opening of an embassy. As I intimated earlier, it's an integrated whole unit. Our missions abroad and different portfolios operate within that space, whether they be trade attaches, trade specialists, immigration officials, or otherwise.
Okay. Can you indicate to us, if you can or if you would like to, what's the reason for this movement to Qatar? Instead of, because you would have come here before, I would have been here when you spoke about the UAE. And I asked the question in the context of the supervision of and the relationship with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and in terms of the pilgrims who visit and business people as well. So what's the reason for movement to Qatar?
Our determination, based on a thorough analysis at this time, was such that we took a decision to open the mission in Qatar.
Okay, can you say by when we might expect, so we can advise our colleagues in the faith, as this embassy, Qatar, will now replace Uganda, which oversaw the relationship in terms of KSA. Am I correct?
The commitment and determination of our government to pursue this initiative is there. We have just had 2 persons go to Ghana to operationalize that office. We have some other constraints, and we will endeavor to treat with the next opening as short as possible. But I cannot give you any undertaking as of now. But the commitment and the goodwill is there.
And so the pilgrims can look towards the Qatar embassy in case there are any concerns while they're in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Am I correct?
We take on board all the interests of all our nationals. So that is an integral part of the commitment of the government to which I referred earlier.
And you expect, without a specific date, you expect that within this fiscal 2020, that the Qatar embassy will be opened?
The provision spells out exactly what is
Okay, well, I will communicate with those who are interested. Thank you very much.
Member for Naparima.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 060, as re-establishment of a High Commission in Barbados. I see in the estimate 1 million was put aside. Could the Minister indicate to us what informed that decision, and has there been a change in that policy decision since nothing was spent?
Once more, Madam Chair, the invaluable resource that is represented by the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, that has determined that it is at this time preferable to open a mission in Guyana.
Item 064, therefore, re-establishment of a High Commission in Guyana. Could the Minister indicate to us what is the status of the revised estimate? It was 1 million spent, and why nothing, based on what I'm seeing here, nothing has been allocated for 2020 in High Commission. This is such a priority, and given the fact that, developments are taking place in Ghana, of which we need to be on top of. Could the Minister John say why no figure?
Madam Chair, for all intents and purposes, we can take it as open. There are, I was almost given to say operatives on the ground, but there are members of staff on the ground who have been posted there. We should have had a functional Chancery Office headquarters, but at the last minute, it became unavailable. So we are busily engaged in the full establishment. So and no provision was required in that instance, in that case.
Item 009, development of a national diaspora policy. 300,000 allocated, 46 spent. Is the 46 figure still current? And if so, given the importance of the diaspora to our development, 300,000 citizens.
46 figure. What I like, Madam Chair?
009.
Oh, okay. 46 revised estimate. 220 estimate none. Madam Chair, we had included a figure to treat with the establishment of a secretariat. Subsequently, we came to a determination that it can be opened within one of the divisions of the ministry. Thereby, that cost would not have been relevant to the exercise. That is why, if you look carefully, you would see, I think, 9, you see 300,000 for in the 2019 estimate, and the revised figure much lower, 46,000. So the Secretariat will be open within the Consular Division of the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, so that is why you see such a drastic fall-off in the figure contemplated.
But Minister, it was for the development of a policy, not the, and you were referring to the operationalization of the policy.
The charges against that remain, as I intimated earlier.
Member for Caroni Central.
Yes, I just follow up on the question I initially raised, Chair. With regard to 064 and 066, proposed embassies in High Commission in Guyana and embassy in Qatar, do these represent two of the countries with which we are establishing building new relations, and are there other countries? These are line items here, so I assume that they are. Are there any other countries with whom we are engaged?
Madam Chair, the spread of our activities with the international members of the International Committee is such that we do not need figures that would specifically treat with our advancing our interests in seeking out new partners with which to do business. For example, at international fora, whether at the United Nations or beyond, or specifically bilateral engagements, whether via summits between CARICOM and a particular country, or indeed between Trinidad and Tobago bilaterally with a certain country. Romania, surprisingly, comes to my mind, and we seek out the advancement of our interests in a very direct and concrete way. We've moved away from a foreign policy that resides with once removed or twice removed, inferring where the benefits could come from. No, we must see concrete results and tangible benefits coming out from our engagement. So whether at the level of advocacy, in the case of the country I mentioned a while ago, who was at that point in time, a couple of months back, occupied the presidency of the EU, we would have interfaced with them bilaterally so as to advocate on our behalf in fora with regards to specific interests in correspondent banking, blacklisting, graduation of countries to middle income, high income countries, thereby denying concessionary funding, and all that stack of issues. So we go about our business, whether in the case of Venezuela, whether in the case of the United States, whether in the case of our traditional partners or new ones, we seek out concrete, tangible benefits for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So it's no longer once removed, twice removed, we do this, and this would influence this, and this would influence this, and eventually something might come back to Trinidad. No, it must be direct, either accessing raw materials, whether in the case of gas, or purchasing vessels for the sea transport between Trinidad and Tobago, or whatever. We make that determination and pursue it relentlessly. I could say that with the pointed, incisive interventions of our Prime Minister, the results are all for us to see, however we feel on whatever.
Okay, so we are moving to a more transactional kind of approach, country by country, and Romania is one of those countries.
I'm not sure country by country and transactional. Transactional brings to mind some connotations that we wouldn't want to go along with, but the drift is there, it's clear. We enter into these relationships as an extension of our domestic policy to bolster and improve the welfare of our citizens. Transactional has connotations and country by country. No, but I think the notions are clear what I've conveyed.
Member
Okay, Minister.
Finish. Member Fanaprima.
Thank you. Minister, item 005, institutional strengthening and capacity building. 800,000 estimated in 2019, 246,000 spent, and there's an estimate of half a million in 2020. The Minister can enlighten us on the elements of this capacity building project.
Madam Chair, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is primarily based on the resources available, human resources that is, and in large measure, we are populated with youthful citizens, young persons, and the profile is such, and even if it were otherwise, we would need ongoing training and education. So we have had a pilot project going to see which best option would fit our circumstance, and we've gotten to that stage. So we are now embarked upon rolling out a full-fledged training program for members of staff. That is what those figures reflect.
Okay, Infrastructure Development Fund, page 223, item 005, multi-sectoral and other services. Are there any questions? 223. Honorable members, the question is that the sum of $273,047,930 for Head 65, Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, stand part of the schedule. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The sum of $273,047,930 for Head 65, Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, now stand part of the schedule. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Madam PS. Okay, honorable members, I think now is a convenient time for us to break for lunch. We'll be back at 2:30.